Greetings, and welcome yet again, always again, to the cursed land of Barovia. Last time, the group had been gathering supplies, split, and then met back again at the manor of Lady Watcher. Part of the group engaged with cultists, the other part of the group engaged with skeletons at first, coming in on the scene of the battle between Ismark, Siguror, and a number of cultists shortly after. Having met a little girl related to, presumably, one of the cultists, the second half of the group, specifically Sasha, implored Siguror to leave, or Siguror and Ismark to leave the last one of the cultists alive, which they did. After taking him out, they now have free reign of this secret room, at least.
What happened here?
We came across one of the townspeople. I believed him to be suspicious. He was convinced that he could get us supplies. Wanted to follow up on it, as he mentioned that there was a group that seemed to be profiting from what the townspeople had been trying to do after the fall of Lady Watcher and the Burgomaster.
Was it the drunk man outside?
If he was carrying bottles and seemed to be in a jovial mood, yes.
Ismark adds, we heard about this from the supply store as well.
That there was another group, yes.
We should talk to this man. Tie that man up. We will interrogate him as well. And I will turn and head outside. Is the drunk guy still there?
He is not.
Really? Motherfucker. I got to find him.
Well, appears he has gotten away for now, but he will not evade me.
Are any of his bottles on the ground? Like any of the bottles he was carrying?
Yes. And a few broken. But when you know why, because he fell and didn't catch any of them. But to someone who wasn't there, it might look suspicious.
Yeah, Crack knocked him out.
Could your locate spell be used to locate the owner of an item?
I can locate the item, but I could also locate him because I met him.
Ah.
And I will say, I can find him, but we should speak to the one we have captured first. Or, perhaps we should find this man before he gets too far away.
Sounds like a split.
It does. Crack.
I'm gonna go search for him.
Alright.
Using manacles and chain to bind him.
That's pretty easy.
Crack and I will
Being
go look
unconscious.
for him. Perhaps we should find the girl as well.
Irina volunteers. I can do that. Or perhaps I and Ismark can.
Alright. Perhaps that is for the best. Crack and I will find this man. Siguror watch the hostage.
If the girl had run, she ran to another safe house they had in the town, or maybe to her home.
Casimir looks
I assume
between
the Watcher house is...
their group of you very briefly and taking his steps says, I'll stay with you.
Okay. Let's find this man, yes.
Before you go, here, I'll give you the 10 daggers.
Thank you.
One of the stacks of supplies we managed to obtain.
What should I cast? I mean, I can just locate him, I guess.
You remember we did buy 2 things of manacles before we left when we were going to initially rescue Irina. Because, also I looked into it. It requires a strength check of over 20 to break manacles. Go figure.
Yeah, pretty hard. Sasha will cast locate creature, and he will attempt to locate that guy since he's met him. He doesn't need to know his name. He just, as long as I've met him face to face, I can cast locate creature to find him.
You cast locate creature. At this moment, some footsteps above you make themselves apparent.
I'm going to redraw.
Sounds like it. The footsteps are soft and slow, like someone moving casually.
So they're like inside the tower. Okay.
And with my locate creature,
Somebody
I can
upstairs.
tell that that's him, or is that a different guy?
It's presumably somebody different. Your locate creature locates the man you were looking for, just a little ways down the road back towards town.
He's down the road. Let us catch him.
A very short horse ride away.
Alright. Remount my phantom steed and head there. Now, if they are walking above us, damn it. Stay quiet for now. We will come back to see what is going on.
And hearing that, I'll also gag the guy. And begin
Still unconscious. He is easily gagged.
and begin looking for another entrance to the cellar, because there has to be an indoor entrance.
There's not. However, if you go back out the way you came, you know that there are some stairs. You were technically in a secret room within the cellar. I described it last time as there being an apparent door, which is my bad. Technically, there are footprints that lead to a very obvious place, and since you were guided, you were just shown to it. So,
Okay.
Right. Okay.
It would have been hidden under normal circumstances if you were snooping, but you were not snooping.
Then I'll just take post near
There are stairs.
in the area. Because I wanted to see, can somebody sneak down here into this room easily? No. Okay.
While their task is different, Ismark and Irina do accompany you and Crack and Casimir at least a little ways, since you're going back down the road.
Right.
So you're all together, approximately, I'm going to say approximately 10 minutes. You see him pretty easily, just on the road, kind of rubbing his face a little bit, and he turns, and as he sees you coming, he definitely readies himself, but he doesn't dash or anything.
So, friend, where are you going?
Back to town. I was a little afraid after your friend there hit me that maybe you might not have the best of intentions.
The best of intentions. My friend, you led our friends into a ambush by cultists. And you talked to me of best of intentions.
Well, that's not quite true. Your friends were looking for a place to get extra supplies, and I told them I could lead them there. It was the truth.
You wish to argue semantics with the wizard. I see. That is a decision you can make, I suppose.
I'm just stating fact. Hell, your friend still owes me money. He gave me some then. He was going to give me some later. I didn't want to be caught in the crossfire just in case.
And you didn't think it wise to warn my friend of the obvious danger these men pose.
Well, you're standing here in front of me now, so presumably you and your friends can take care of yourselves.
Are you trying to anger me? Because you are doing a good job.
Alright. No, I'm not. In fact, I'm incredibly grateful to you. To you lot. You've done a great service for this town. I don't know. Maybe it's just a bad habit of mine. Don't ask, don't tell.
What has happened to you? Who are these men that you led my friend to? It's obvious that they are cultists to Strahd, but why are they allowed to continue here? To rob and pile on supplies when other people need them. What has happened to the father?
Are you talking about the priest?
Father Lucian, yes.
Yeah.
He runs the town now, does he not?
Yeah. After that, whoever showed up and talked everybody down. Before then, there was a lot of rioting and looting. I think the cultists just got to some food stores ahead of time. You can buy food elsewhere, but recently they've started, demanding that any travelers who come through come see them. And even though their lead star, that bitch Lady Watcher, is dead, they still have enough power to coerce normal people.
How many of them are there?
A lot fewer than there were before. They did their best to defend the manor and whatnot. Naturally, it didn't go as well as maybe they might have hoped. I'd say of those that are not in the inner circle, maybe 10 or 12. Those are more hapless goons that just take orders. The inner circle are the people that are back there. They're the last remaining ones with any kind of real power. Magic, I mean.
Who are the rest of these? And why have the guards not taken them in? Surely they cannot be afraid of some spellcasters.
Maybe the guards don't know. I mean, they're not as well connected as some people are here. If you really want to know who, then I'd be happy to accept payment for their identities.
Well, I'm sorry.
How about I punch you until you tell us?
You really gonna be like that? Come on.
You lead my friend into a trap. And you're telling lies, so...
I'm not lying. I've told nothing but the truth. Though I've already admitted maybe I was a little stingy with some external facts in my previous dealing with your friend, but I'm sorry about that. In fact, he no longer owes me the rest of what he promised me, as an apology.
I'm not sure if he owes you what he gave you. Might need it back.
Or perhaps you can give us the information we want, and you can consider what you took from my friend payment, yes?
That's hardly a deal. Well, people like you were stand-up guys. I mean...
This land does funny things to people.
Notwithstanding.
Rose, you're on a horse.
If, however, you'd rather deal with my associate here instead of taking my deal, that's fine.
I'm gonna crack my fist. Crack is doing that.
Suppose this is what I get. Oh, well. He then describes 10, because I had him say 10, right?
You said 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Okay, he actually provides 12. Descriptions of 12 small houses in town, as well as vague descriptions of people. And he also gives you a first name for each. It is a varied amount of men and women. He doesn't describe any of them as below a certain age. They all appear to be maybe in their 20s or older. There's more women in the mix than men, but outside of that, nothing super sticks out of the information that he gives you.
Alright. No. Instead of going and warning these men and women that they're going to be taken in by the guard.
Oh, I'd never do that.
Yes.
Trust me.
Well, I was going to say that I was willing to offer you some gold for more wine for your silence, but if you're already willing to do so, then I suppose we have nothing to discuss.
Well, I was heading back to town. No accounting for carelessness. I mean, it couldn't hurt. Hell, maybe if it's enough gold, I could just leave town altogether.
Maybe that's what he's been trying to do.
Leave town. Where would you go?
That's the question. I think Barovi would be close. Maybe over towards Krezik. I hear they're pretty well protected. It would be a dangerous journey. I would need to be very prepared.
But we're going to Krezik.
Pick up your NPCs.
I will say to him. Because I feel if we leave him in town, he's going to rat us out to someone.
Yeah.
But if he leaves town, he could go to Strahd and tell him where we are. Which is the other thing Sasha's concerned about.
Well, I mean, he doesn't know that Strahd is in the Amber Temple recovering.
That was a week ago. He could be back at the castle by now.
Yeah.
Unless he decided to
It's
wait
possible.
there for us to come, but...
I mean, did he know that we're going there?
I don't know what he knows.
Yeah.
Or no, yeah, he does know we're going there because Grayla knew.
Oh, eventually.
He knows we're going to be there sooner or later. He could wait to ambush us.
Good.
How much are we talking about for this journey to Krezik?
I think 100 gold should do it.
No.
No? Horses are expensive. And food, and clothing. As you might have noticed, they can be a little clumsy sometimes. Like, yeah. Trip, rip, repairs. Though, I did say I was grateful. I can let it go for 50.
How about 50 and you make a delivery?
You're asking me to do more. Doesn't seem completely fair. What kind of delivery?
The burgomaster of Krezik has a job he needs us to do. We're to take a wedding dress and bring it to him to deliver to a third person. If you could see to the safe delivery of this, well, Krezik would be very grateful. They just got the new shipment of wine from the Wizards of Wine. And he owns a very big house. Lots of women.
$55 and I'll leave right now.
Done. And I'll hand him the gold and I will say, if you attempt to cheat me, I will know. And there is no place you can hide from me.
Obviously. He very quickly pockets the gold.
And I'll hand him the dress.
He...
Or I'll... Do we...
If we have paper and string, we can just bind it up into like a parcel.
Yeah, can we bind it up into a parcel form? Something that could be moved easier.
It takes a minute of like collaboration between you and the rest, but you're able to find like technically some scrap cloth that you can put around it, and I'm sure that somebody's kit has rope.
Yeah.
So a certain length of rope. I'm gonna estimate 5 feet because you can't imagine it taking much more than that.
Right.
And then there's like a little bit where he like watches you guys go like, that's very interesting. And he like takes it with 2 hands and then I'll be off. And then he technically starts back down the road. If only because there's like forests
Right.
and you're kind of on the outskirts. Presumably he is starting. He's keeping his word.
Well, don't worry. I have ways of making him keep his word. Although out of character, I so wish I took Gash. This would be a great
that's
time
that
for
mark
that.
thing, isn't it? The
You do what I want, or you take psychic damage
until you do it.
until you do it. Yeah.
While you're doing this,
But I still have ways.
Oh.
yeah, guys, are you waiting in the secret room or in the cellar?
As they're leaving, opening the door, is there anything within this main cellar room that would like depict and show people were here fighting?
Yes, there are a bunch of shards of skeletons on the ground. And some weapons. They're kind of old and crusty, so nothing like you'd be interested in.
No, but I guess as quickly as I could, but also quietly, just like I bound and gagged, try like scooping up some of that place and like putting it behind a barrel or something in the room.
Okay.
Or like basically hiding the fighting evidence and then going back in and basically just listening for noise.
Okay. You do that about as quickly as you can. You hear like the same footsteps from above, like soft, maybe a little this way. And then after you've done as much as you can to clean, you go back in and you're listening. And during your time listening, you start to suspect. And it's only after like maybe like 10 minutes or so that you're able to confirm. You think this room is soundproof. You can't hear a thing.
Makes sense though.
How hard did the guy knock on the door? Like when we initially came down here to get these guys.
Fairly hard.
Huh. I suppose just...
If somebody like made a suitably loud noise, because you heard like that whatever from outside, which now that your friends are here, you could probably conclude is Sasha's gun. But if it's below like a certain volume, you're not gonna hear it from in here.
Then just open the door, but like leave it open like a crack, like enough to let sound through. I'll just posted up on the other side and waiting for noise. And if I hear noise, then I'll prepare to grapple whatever comes through that door.
There does come a point where you hear noise. Footsteps. And then you hear it more clearly than you would normally because it's open a crack, but there's like a knock on the door, only it's like 2 knocks, and then like when it kind of moves because it's open, there's a voice that goes, "Oh," and then asks, "May I come in?"
I don't get the feeling, and I also don't think I have the skill to impersonate any of the fucking people that were coming through. I don't think I have any of those skill sets. I'll just...
Or do you?
No. I'll just throw open the door, grapple whoever's on the other side, pull them in, close the door.
You throw open the door, and I will not have you roll for grapple, because you easily grapple a woman in maid's clothing who is quite surprised.
Figures.
And you say, get her in. She's in the middle of surrendering, but she does so immediately, like once you get her back inside. Oh, no, please, no, don't.
Knowing that the room is soundproof, just put her in the room and close the door.
Okay, you close the door. She kind of gets back. She backs away from you to like the nearest wall, and then she sees like the bodies. She's like, oh. Kind of braced herself against the wall.
Who are you?
I'm just one of the maids. Don't hurt me.
Were you truly loyal to Lady Watcher?
When she was alive, yes.
And now?
Now I've nowhere else to go. Were you one of the travelers from a while back?
Yes.
Oh. And she like scoots down, so like she's not sitting, but she's like kind of crouching. I won't make any trouble for you, and I can't. Just don't hurt me, please.
If you do not mean us or the town harm, you are fine. What do you know of these people? And what they were doing to the town?
They're members of the book club. They were fairly close with Lady Watcher before she passed. I don't think I know much more that would be of interest to you.
Book club? A group of casters?
I think they had... I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you're meaning yes? But they also came over to read with her. Lady Watcher published a book after all. You can probably, she like points gingerly around the room, you can probably take a look yourself if you were interested, though you don't have to. There are a number of books, like 5, they're like on the table, like in the middle of the room, with red covers.
Okay. I'll motion to the table and chairs for her to like go over in that area, away from the door.
She does so, but she does not sit down.
Still partially keeping her in view, start like trying to move the bodies basically like out of direct line of sight.
Alright.
And then see if I can find what the hell she's talking about. Besides spellbooks
Well, she pointed, like you know what she's talking about.
Oh, books on the table.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also, moving bodies takes a bit, so you have time to pick up and inspect a volume. Before doing so, you find that it is entitled with black lettering, The Devil We Know. And if you browse through it, it is a very, sufficient to say, rose-tinted view of the rightful lord of this land and the many graces that he visits upon us, knowingly or unknowingly.
So the book is making him out to basically be a god of some sort. Or close to deity-like.
No. More like a ruler. More like a wonderful, benevolent, if misunderstood by some, ruler. If misunderstood by rabble, it's more pointed than some. There are also a couple places where this is backed up by personal accounts by the author, which, if the book is to be believed, is Lady Watcher herself, about interactions between Strahd's family and her family, and how gracious they were and cordial they were. Or Strahd, I should say, not his family. Never mind.
No, I was gonna say, what? What?
Nope.
Wait a minute.
Error in the script. Strahd. As well as a Strahd-associated nobleman, Lord Vasily, that she makes mention of a few times. From the sounds of it, he is more recent.
Have we heard that name before?
No.
Okay.
No. Moving bodies takes enough time that y'all are able to arrive back. We weren't gone too long.
He has been dealt with. When some Sahara lets me know that there's a strange woman in the room.
Actually, when you leave, obviously, Irina and Ismark are going to look for the child. So technically, they're going to be accompanying that dude for a little bit, since they're going in the same direction.
Alright.
Minor detail. Return. Yes, Sahara does, kind of shift against your body and indicate that something has changed.
I'll take over his perception. Notice the woman and I'll say, who is this?
Claims to be a maid of the house. Came down to the door. Saw it better to keep her here since the room seems to be soundproofed.
I see.
I was just cleaning, honest. Here to offer refreshments, but it doesn't look like there will be need for that now.
You see oddly calm about the death of your masters.
It was tragic, but sometimes you just have to do what you need to do to keep living.
I see.
I miss her like anyone, but something can be done.
These men, what were they doing here? And who is this one?
That one there is Patrick, I believe. And I think they were over here just reviewing literature and talking plans. I don't make it my business to know what others are up to. They're above my station. I just do my job.
You were probably watching over their hoard of supplies that they were keeping from town.
Where is there anyone else in the house above?
Cecilia, another maid. There used to be more, but not anymore.
What happened to the rest of the watchers?
I'm not sure. Neither of her sons came back. And her daughter's still upstairs.
Daughter?
Yes. But she's like us, where she's no danger to you either. Hasn't been right for quite some time.
What do
So
you
I feel
mean?
improper to say. It's quite sensitive, and while Lady Watcher is dead, it doesn't feel right. Even if she were gone, she wouldn't like people sharing and knowing her business. I just want to assure you that she's no harm to anyone, nor am I, nor Cecilia. We lost the other servants in a raid on the house. There were some villagers, some town guard that came up. Other people did their best to defend the place, and we weathered it fairly well, but not without some bloodshed.
I see. Does Lady Watcher's daughter have knowledge of her peculiarities?
No. Oh. Sorry. I, out of character, answered that before you were done. I should not have. Her loyalty to Lord von Zarovich is is common knowledge around the house.
I will speak to her. I will not harm her. I merely wish to know exactly what she was doing here. These men ambushed us, attempted to kill us.
Also claiming some great power.
I've no power to stop if you wish. I will warn you, her room is locked, and Lady Watcher was the only one with a key.
How do you...
You may need to talk through the door.
How do you go in fear?
Under the door. It's been a challenge, to say the least. But better than letting the poor thing starve.
She has not been able to leave since the death of Lady Watcher.
Perhaps I've said too much.
Just bring me to her room. And I would speak to this other maid as well. Again, I do not wish to harm you. I just wish to know exactly what was going on here.
If you insist, Sarah.
As we're going and leading up, pull out the book. Apparently Lady Watcher was a writer.
Yes, I see. One of you should still stay and watch over this prisoner.
Are there more? Are there potentially more?
No. The other man has been sent on his way.
I mean, any more, loyal. Those loyal.
There are more, but they are in town. We will deal with them soon enough.
Those who do not stay with the remaining cultist prisoner are led upstairs into the house proper, which, while a little roughed up, since you've been there, looks like less ransacked than the burgomaster's place.
I'm gonna ritual cast detect magic as we're walking.
You ritual cast detect magic? You were led from where you are up more stairs to an upper hallway that wraps around the staircase railing. Maybe. There are framed portraits and mirrors that festoon the walls, surrounding you with judging looks and dark reflections, marred somewhat by people having been rough with them, some of them have been tilted. As you reach the floor, you can hear, as in everybody with you, can hear scratching at one of the many doors. The maid motions, and like she's still leading you, but she says, that would be her. And she leads you down the hall. There's still more scratching at the door as you grow closer to it.
I am going to approach, and then I'm going to pick the lock.
I'm gonna check the door.
I'll check the door for traps. I'll pick the lock.
Oh yeah, your detect magic will pick up there's magic on the door.
Yeah.
Also, when I'm choosing to stay with the guy, and when they leave, I'll leave the door partially open.
I got a 28. I'm picking the door.
I got 24. Checking it.
I know, right?
You begin checking it. Now, while you don't find anything, as you are checking it, part of it involves maybe the door moving slightly, or maybe not. Whoever is inside seems to know that something's happening at the door, and calls from the other side. Who's there? Let me out. Kitty wants to play. Kitty promises she will be good this time.
Okay.
And then there's more scratching at the door.
Jesus Christ.
You don't find any traps. You find it's locked, but you already knew that.
Okay, so as I'm doing the lock and I hear that, I'm going to stop. I'm going to turn towards the maid and say, "Excuse me?"
The maid looks down. Scratching resumes on the other side of the door.
What is wrong with this girl?
Even dead, she wouldn't like us sharing.
If you wish to help her, you will tell us what is wrong with her.
I'm not sure, and then like louder scratching like interrupts, and some meowing, but it's long and creaky.
How old does the voice sound?
Alright. You know,
That sounds like the voice
perhaps
of a
it's
young woman.
best we do not let her out quite yet. If she, was she
Sanity.
always this way? Was she born with this condition?
No.
This has happened over the course of her life, yes?
Please, it wouldn't be right to speak of it. I know how silly it must seem, but she does not want to share. She would need to be
Pull out
convinced or
a
coerced.
coin and incant seal. Dedishi, Pecto, and I cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay. You detect thoughts. For what it's worth, on the other side of the door, you get thoughts of strangers. Strangers? Strangers. One familiar voice. You also get thoughts from the maid who's more likely your target of, it's just so terrible. It's just so terrible how he treated her. Well, hopefully he's dead now.
How who treated her?
She looks... Please, sir, you must understand. It's not right to speak of such things. And you also get like a double up thought of, it's terrible. It's terrible. Even in death, the least I can do is not spill her, like, in her head. The least I can do to respect her memory is to not share her secrets. And you get like a faint picture of like a dead guy in a room, as well as like a faint picture of like the door you're in front of, and like people putting like food underneath it kind of awkwardly.
Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pulse to detect if there's anything invisible around me.
Okay.
Because there were casters here.
You do so, and you don't pick up on
Okay.
anybody. Exactly how big is the range?
60 feet in all directions.
Okay.
Up, down, left, and right.
I want to check something that is flavor
Is it
related,
cute or
I
sweet?
assure you.
It's a sphere. Then I want to try to... So, this girl... Do I think it's like what happened to the Burgomaster's son? Actually, I'm going to turn to the maid. I'm going to ask, did she die and was brought back? Is that what happened?
No. No, nothing like that. Though, some might say worse. But, again, it wouldn't be right to speak of it.
There are magics that can help her. Heal her. I need to know what the problem is. If this is some sort of...
Fixing it so it doesn't fall more.
I will say... If... Can I use... With the detect thoughts, can I tell that she has insanity like the other guy did?
Yes, actually. I wasn't thinking about that, but yes.
Okay.
Like, she's
Then
already
can I
acting
roll
crazy,
an
but
Arcana?
like...
Yeah, I know, but I just want to make sure it's not like... It's the kind...
It is kind of similar.
Okay, then...
Well, it is...
Can I roll Arcana to determine if a restoration spell could fix her?
Sure. I don't know why I paused. I didn't have any opposition.
16 on my Arcana check.
Okay. Now, I believe that one of the things restoration can do is cure madness.
I think so. Greater restoration,
So-
if nothing else.
Mental ailments.
So, you...
Not lesser, but greater restoration.
From your roll, you know whichever one will help.
Okay.
I think it's lesser, but if it's not lesser, then you know the greater will.
A spell of restoration could restore her mind. Same with the boy in Kresik. If Grayla were still alive, but she is not. But perhaps, yes, I will have to speak to him. But Crack, I'm sorry, can you excuse us for a moment?
And she leaves.
Victavio was a cleric, or had access to cleric magics. He might be strong enough to reverse her insanity. We should wait for them to return before going to the Ember Temple anyway. Hopefully Victavio will come with her. It's greater, okay. Hopefully Victavio will come back with Esmeralda.
I don't know offhand.
If not, we will have to go find him. Greater Restoration is a 5th level cleric spell. So if he has access to 5th level cleric spells, because clerics can replace their spells each day, so even if it doesn't say on his spell list that he has it prepared, he can switch them up for other spells. If he counts as a cleric, because clerics can prepare their spells each day when they pray. So he could prepare and cast a Greater Restoration spell if he has access to 5th level cleric spells. I don't know if he does. I know he can cast 4th levels because that's what Death Ward is.
Yeah.
So he might be strong enough too. That's what Sasha thinks. Otherwise, he can't help her. Restoration is not a spell that he gets. It's not a wizard spell.
We need to find like a scroll or something.
Scroll, a powerful enough priest. I don't think Father Lucian can cast 5th level spells. Otherwise, I think that would have come up. Probably could have killed those vampires pretty easily by just casting Dawn and be like, why don't we just do this all the time?
This is why Valaki is truly safe.
Is that I can cast Dawn because I'm a high as fuck level cleric, and it's like, oh, I'm crazy.
I don't think we can get the fucking abbot to come all the way down here because he didn't want to come down here for the dress.
Sasha doesn't know this in character. Well, he might actually, depending on how his knowledge check went. But out of character, I know Davis can't cast Restoration. They have a healing touch and the ability to cast Raise Dead, but they don't get like cleric spells.
Oh.
Although I think their healing touch can get rid of some things.
Okay.
But if he could cure insanity, he probably would have done it on the kid.
I'm gonna say
I don't think it counts as a greater restoration.
I'm gonna say that while you don't know of anything that says they can't, you've never heard or read of one possessing such ability.
I think
depending on how
different.
different. So depending on how different you think he is from others, which maybe not, then you'd have to get him here somehow.
I think Rictavio is our best choice. If Grayla were still alive in here, she could absolutely cast Greater Restoration to fix this girl. Because we're level 10 now, so she would absolutely have Greater Restoration.
What a power move.
Yeah, I know, right? Just take our cleric. Bastard. Then again, we can also use the fucking holy symbol.
Yeah, that's also true.
Alright. Well, I don't know. We should...
There's more
Let us
scratching
go.
at the door. And what sound like aggressive sniffs.
We will talk to you tomorrow, child. We will bring someone to fix you.
There's a hiss from the other side of the door, as well as a call of "Stranger! Stranger!"
Aye. This place. Well, let us go speak to Siguror. Tell him of our plan.
Does the guy wake up at all during her walking about and all that?
Maybe a couple minutes after they've left. Like, you see that he stirs, though he's still getting himself together.
I'll wait.
We'll walk back downstairs to meet with Siguror. The woman upstairs is under some sort of insanity. Her mind has been altered.
The other maid?
No. The Watcher's daughter. There may be someone who can fix her, but I do not have the power. Is our prisoner awake?
Getting there.
There's some guarded shifting on the man's part.
He appears to be fine.
Ungagging. So, your little ambush didn't work.
Don't mistake your luck for any kind of grace. There is only one will in this land, and it is Lord von Zarovich's.
Really? We have defeated him once already.
Impossible.
Perhaps the will of the land is more easily broken than I thought.
Twice.
Impossible. You
Twice.
can't be telling the truth.
Twice if you are counting our first entry into Castle Ravenloft.
Oh yes, the Recovery Arena. Sorry, we have defeated your master twice. And of course,
You won't trick me.
the leader of your book club was so easily defeated in a duel by myself. And yet you seem to think that we are lucky. I guess we must be the most lucky men in all the realms, eh?
I have heard about your retreat from Castle Ravenloft. That you ran from our Lord's might. This other encounter must certainly be a lie of some kind.
I see. So,
As for Mistress Watcher,
and all her
perhaps
gods.
she need not worry.
For where she is now, there is no worry. Only torment.
Could the sickness have been on her daughter been employed by her herself?
No. They said a man did it to her. At least that's what the maid seemed to believe.
The man smiles. Yes, a wretched man. A wretched shadow of a man. Hopefully dead with the rest of his family.
What man would want
What
to harm a
family?
child?
The Burgomaster's family. It was the cruelty inflicted on the child by their son, Victor, that made her this way.
What? Jesus.
Certainly, those that could see, even blind as you are, to Lord von Zarovich's might, those that were able to see the pure idiocy of the Burgomaster's reign over this place and disposed of him, certainly must know of how vile and deluded the rest of his family is.
I know that their son is a
Or
magister
was.
of some skill. You're saying he warped this girl's mind? For what?
There's no way that anyone in that family would possess brains to grasp even the most fundamental of magic.
And yet, he managed to stay alive, unlike all of your friends.
Alive? A curse on him and any of his family that live, which hopefully isn't any.
So, speaking of families, we found a young girl outside. Do you possess a daughter?
I do not.
One of these men, then, I assume.
Perhaps.
That is unfortunate. See, the reason we were keeping you alive was on the off chance that she happened to be yours. I would hate to make her an orphan, but it appears my friend here already did it. So, I suppose that means we have no reason for you to live, right? It's a shame.
In this land, embraced by his power, I fear nothing.
You fear nothing. You have not seen the other side. This place chops off a screaming soul, forever torn asunder by dark hands. That is what awaits you.
All because of your servant of a master, servant of demons.
Now,
He is no king.
if you have any information that might be useful to us, you may be able to live long enough to perhaps see the death of your lord and escape this fate.
I will not betray the rightful ruler of this land. Though, waiting to see your death at his hands does tempt me.
It's unfortunate that you think you have a choice on answering my questions. I cast Detect Thoughts. And unlike other times where I cast Detect Thoughts and try to lead them with questions and not probe, I'm just going to rip directly into his mind and take what I want. He gets to make an intelligence save against DC 17.
You did this to the head
Which he will,
right?
Though he will also remark, "We know well of your tricks, mage. He knows all."
I believe I still have a portent.
He didn't make it.
Oh, okay. Well, I was supposed to decide it before. I couldn't.
Sorry.
I think I took my book out and... Oh, yeah, I did when I was playing Luca and I didn't put it back.
Oops.
Well, regardless, it doesn't matter.
Consider me saving you one this time by accident.
I'll read into his mind. What does he know?
He knows that
And for
the
the
family
whole
has
minute?
plotted against the Burgomaster for quite some time, and what he was referring to was a ploy where the Watcher family was going to attempt to marry into the Burgomaster's family in an attempt to usurp power, but Victor, at least by this man's thoughts, he doesn't have actual footage of what happened.
Right.
By this man's thoughts, Victor was so callous and cruel towards her, so supremely uninterested in vicious and not vicious, but dismissive in his treatment of her, that it drove her mad. He specifically just has knowledge of the plan, and then knowledge of the day that she returned in a mess and was put in that room specifically, but the dot connection is
Really?
still in there for him. He knows
That
that
seems weak.
What was the state of Lady Watcher coming back?
And-
Well, I'm
Angry.
not interested in that, to be
Oh,
honest.
angry and spiteful.
I
Lady
should
Watcher
keep in mind
absolutely
saying.
didn't enjoy this at all. It only fueled her desire to
Okay.
visit revenge upon him. He
So
knows.
what I want to know from him
Okay.
is how much do they have here, hidden here? I want to know where everything is, and if Lady Watcher had any magic items or anything they kept around, including any spell books or anything that'd be useful to us. So that's the first thing I want to know, and I'll probe into his mind for that, and then I'll probe into his mind for... Is there any extra hidden traps or creatures in this house that we should know about? Does he know anything of Strahd's plans?
Or is it just cultist thoughts?
Stores, traps, Strahd's plans, and then I want to dig in and find out,
If you knew the father of the girl.
Sasha doesn't really care.
Just browsing.
Oh.
Super quick.
Wants to figure, what was the name that was in the book? A lord that she was talking to, Strahd's associate?
Vasily.
Vasily. You know I'm related to Vasily, right?
No, they're not. I thought it was just a made-up name in this book.
I have a cousin, Vasily.
Neat.
He lives in Portugal. I know, right? You're like,
And maybe...
but our family lived in Portugal for a bit before we came here. It's where we moved before we came to America.
Maybe how they've gotten the information on us.
So, at the very least, as far as magical items, no. There is some spare gear that was taken from some adventurers, some travelers, he says, but you get adventures that they disposed of.
Okay.
That is here. It's mundane gear, but it's in some storage room.
Yeah.
As far as traps go, outside this very room, if you do not utter a special phrase, skeletons will rise up and attack you.
I see.
Outside of that, the chest that the gear is kept in is trapped.
Okay.
And it's got like a little needle trap in there.
Alright.
And there's another trap on a locked door in here, like in the house, to the library specifically. But as far as like magic items go, no.
Does he know where Lady Watcher's wealth was kept?
He knows where it used to be kept. He has knowledge of like a really fancy goblet and like crystal wine decanter and some other valuables that somebody made off with, but he's not sure who.
Well. Okay.
As far as one of the things you were probably looking for, like plans and stuff.
Yeah, if he knows any of Strahd's plans.
He knows specifically because a very dapper noble gentleman paid a visit to them not too long ago, telling them of how Strahd had a confrontation with a group of adventurers in the distant but not so distant town of Krezik, and that they will likely be coming back towards this way, and they must do their best to, if any travelers come here, to make sure that they see them. While they are strong, perhaps they may be tricked.
Could be Strahd with the disguised self spell.
Didn't give him the
Or it could be one of his servants. Did he
There
see
are
this
some
man?
old... yes.
Alright, I'll make note of what he looks like.
Okay. There are some older plans that like they aren't actively doing, which, like, for what it's worth, you know, they were planning to like overthrow the burgomaster, but like you already knew that already.
Right. What does he know of? Oh, sorry.
It's not an explicit plan, but there was some talk about what to do about Father Lucian, because while he was put in place by the same gentleman that they held council with, so it's in Strahd's plan, according to him. At the same time, Father Lucian, they're almost positive, is not loyal to Strahd. In fact, not almost. They are positive. So it's a little confusing. There's been some talk between them, not officially Strahd's plan, but like them. Maybe we should do something to like tilt that to our favor. There's speak of some kind of holy thing that makes the church a truly holy place. Maybe if they could deal with that. You know what that is, but they do not. Maybe if we could deal with that, we could do something about it. Maybe.
Okay.
But the master hasn't asked us to. Well, then maybe we shouldn't. This guy thought it was a good idea to not oppose the Lord, the devil. You also wanted to know about, as far as traps go, there aren't any other traps
Okay.
in here.
I'm curious what he knows about Vasily, if anything.
He knows that he is a wonderful noble, the most recent in long noble line that is allied with Strahd, that also has held council with Lady Watcher herself before he had to deal with them.
Where is he from?
Here, this guy thinks.
Like this town?
Like this land.
Oh, but he doesn't know the town. Okay.
No.
Does he know anything of the hermit who shoots lightning at the lake?
You're looking. You get like somebody mentioned faintly,
Okay.
like
Fair
about
enough.
it. And I'm like, well,
Did the Vistani ever work with Lady Watcher? Like, were they allied?
you know that they are not explicitly allied. Lady Watcher has said that she can call upon them and collaborate with them, but as far as this guy knows, like they weren't actively working together. It's more like we both work for Strahd. I can get you to do stuff.
Does she have that same kind of relationship with the werewolves? And did she know where the werewolves? Do they have like
A main den?
Yeah.
He does not know much about the werewolves or their den. He has heard that Strahd is allied with them actually know. He knows, like he's been told, but this is like, it feels like second or third hand information to him.
Okay. You know what I should have done while we were in the castle? Detect thoughts on the werewolf in the cage and figure out where their base is.
Oh, yeah, since he's supposedly their leader.
Yeah,
At
I
the
didn't
time.
even think about that. And for the last thing, I'm going to ask him if he knows of any of Strahd's allies that we don't know of.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
I was thinking, does he? And outside of the nobleman that you just heard about,
It's Vasily.
and you get flashes of like some townsfolk that, well, they're thought of as mere pawns. There are like 12 of them, and this guy swears he saw like someone in like leather and armed like here once, and he swears like he's heard Lady Watcher like talking with someone, but like no one's been there. But he doesn't know much about it, and like was kind of nervous to ask her about it, so we just kind of didn't bother.
Some type of telepathy stuff? No,
This mainly comes up because he partially is wondering, like, if that person exists, then like why aren't they helping? Was it just his imagination? There are a lot of things, a lot of spies. Like he knows that there are spies that Strahd employs, even if he hasn't met them himself.
Right. That's strange. That's Okay.
Or have any of allies as in enemies of Strahd? Go also look for that.
Well, the spell doesn't last that long. I figure that's about the length of what I can bring through his mind.
Yeah, probably.
And I will say, well, we can hand him over to the guard, or one of you can just do it if you'd like.
You could take him to Father Lucian.
If he's a spellcaster, he may be too dangerous to imprison.
There are some magic things.
But it was a cultist in their town. The guard should have some say. Let's round up the others as well. Bring this man to the guard and tell them of the others. They say the others have no magical power, but if they are cultists, the guard should know. And then I suppose we wait. We gather the supplies here and wait until...
Obtain what we need, pass the rest of it along to the town.
Yeah, that makes sense. We will not leave until tomorrow. I will need time to prepare this spell of teleportation. And also, I want to wait for our 2 allies to return.
3. 2. Did the elf go with them?
No, the elves.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I wasn't talking about his marking on
He's
Rita.
stuck
I'm
with you.
talking about Rictavio and Esmeralda.
Oh! Okay.
Because I'm not going to leave for the Amber Temple without them and have them come and be like, what the hell, where'd they go? Yeah.
Oh! Was it actually decided by then that they were going to come with us?
Well, I don't know about Rictavio. I'm hoping Rictavio comes with us because we gave him the ring back. Sasha gave Esmeralda the ring to give back to him as a signal like, hey, you should come with us now.
Oh, because he can leave his without...
Without being found out. And even if he's not coming back, Esmeralda kind of implied she was. So.
Right.
But if they don't come back tomorrow, then fuck it. But yeah. So I don't know how much of that you want to yada yada, but basically...
It seems pretty straightforward. Like,
Okay.
you already know, so you can just jaunt on over to the storage room that you saw. There's that chest.
let's grab the items.
I'm going to be explicitly trying to dig through, see if we can find any cold weather clothing. For there might be some, maybe.
And then I want to go. We obviously go tell the guards about the cultists, and I assume they imprisoned them. And I'm willing to go with them and make sure.
They probably will. Like, it takes a little bit to find like somebody in authority,
Right.
and when you do, like, they appear to take it seriously, and say they will see to this.
Okay. And
When
we could hand over the book that Lady Watcher was writing as this is a sign to look into them a bit harder.
While you're in town, you do cross paths with Irina and Ismark. Irina reporting, we were able to find the girl. We also found her home. I think she's the daughter of one of the men that, whoever that man was, gave us the identity of.
One of the 12.
Oh, one of the goons?
Yes.
Does she have a mother? Or I will ask.
Ooh.
Does she have a mother?
One of the
Yes.
12 that the guy told us about, or he was
No,
down
one
there
of the
in
12,
some-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the 12 that we were told of. So
Okay.
her father's alive, but he's probably going to prison. But Sasha says, well, she still has her mother.
One of the father.
That is
the
more than some
follower,
children
Strahd,
have.
and probably so is the mother.
But what if her mother also harbors the same beliefs?
Well, was she one of the people who's named?
No, not to your knowledge.
I do not believe so. And I will tell the guard that I believe the mother is not a cultist. I have it on good authority. Out of character, I could cast Detect Thoughts on her if you guys really want me to.
Irina remarks, maybe that's the best we can do. It's not like we're in the proper place to take care of a child.
Yeah. I do feel like we should probably present ourselves to Father Lucian's just so he knows we're here.
You can go and speak to him. Perhaps
When we
it
turn
would
over
be
the
good.
supplies.
I would like to go and speak to the old crow at the inn. Perhaps he can give us some extra supplies. And if not...
Father Lucian is happy to see you and is glad that you still survive. He is more than welcoming of any extra supplies that you liberate from Watcher House, and says that he can send some people over to get it whenever you need. The inn not only contains the Old Crow, but a new and very vibrant blonde woman who appears to be an entertainer of some kind that is busy regaling people with song and dance up above. The Gaitian says that he would be able to spare some extra supplies. Should be pretty easy. He warned you about what you've already run into on the sly.
Perhaps we should have come to you first. And
Tavern is the source of all information for adventurers.
if you had helped us with our following problem, then I do thank you for that. Additionally, I have some things you might be interested in. I'll show him the jewelry and see if he's interested in purchasing any of it. I figure if anyone has gold to spare, where ravens are probably the closest ones. I know part of their lore is they steal magic items from evil people and hold on to them. Maybe they're willing to trade some potions or something. I don't know. I don't know if they have anything, or even if they just have gold.
If you bring that up specifically, he says that he may have something that he can do, and he does have a bit of a weakness for stuff like this.
Birds love shiny things. I'm not saying that out loud, but Sasha's thinking it.
I wasn't prepared for magical bartering, but there is some minor amount of magical bartering that can be done.
Yeah, I mean, they might have some gear. I have 250 gold amethyst, and I have 3 necklaces, each worth 750 gold. So,
Right.
whatever I can get with that.
I will, at an appropriate time, provide you a selection, and you can,
Okay.
or rather, the group could make their
And
selections.
if he has any inks, he'd be willing to trade for that as well. I don't know, maybe he pulled them off an evil wizard. I have no idea, but Sasha's always on the prowl for more ink.
Never enough.
Never. There is never enough ink.
No.
How many rations do you think would be like a good amount for us to get?
We're out of rations right now.
Yes.
Our group has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people now.
Well, Rictavio and Esmeralda could probably have supplied their own rations.
Yeah, but we should still have enough for everyone. So I say we could get, even with the teleportation, we might be at the Amber Temple for a while. So I would want 2 weeks worth times 8.
Rummaging
So
through,
we
you're
could
able
get-
to find a couple of old coats that would be thick enough for extreme
Okay.
cold.
Cool.
Good for everybody but the elf because he already has that ring.
Ring of warmth.
I meant a couple. You find 2.
Oh, 2.
Oh.
Shit.
Okay.
Can the guy get us some heavy winter clothing?
You know, he nods and he says, I think I can.
We were willing to pay, of course. Yeah, if we can get cold weather clothing for everyone, that would be nice. And basically, we need 112 days worth of rations. We can split that. That'll be 2 weeks of food for everyone. Just in case.
Absolutely everyone, if Rictavio and Esmeralda don't
Have their own. Well, it's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, that chest, like in the house, happened to have
yeah.
a little bit of money in addition to some stuff that is maybe not as interesting. It
Hit me up.
had, or rather, it has a silk bag containing 180 electrum pieces,
Okay.
That's pretty good.
each
That's better than
stamped with
nothing, right?
Strahd's visage, as is
Boo.
the money of the land.
All the coins.
There's also a leather bag that had 110 gold in it.
Bueno. I'm just gonna take the 55 out of that, and then
And
Without the rest.
outside of money, it had a wooden pipe that appears to be very well worn, but handsomely carved. A number of deeds and parcels for land signed over from Strahd von Zarovich to the Watcher family.
Huh.
There's also a case with a rougher, as in like it's actually penned instead of printed, manuscript of The Devil We Know. So if you haven't gotten a look at it already, you can get it in here. There's also a black leather-bound book entitled The Grimoire of Four Quarters.
is it a spell book or is it?
Like a lore book.
It's not a spell book,
Uh,
but it does have like sinister magical writings in it, though.
how sinister? Like demon sinister or like?
Very sinister.
Hmm.
The foreword proclaims that it was allegedly written by an infamous diabolist known
So it
as
is demonic.
Devostas.
Huh.
Okay.
There's also a very old letter made evidenced by like the paper being like all thin and browned. That is from one Lord Vasily von Holtz. And if opened, the letter is thanking Lady Watcher for her hospitality, loyalty, and friendship over the years. The letter is quite warm. And regal speech is implied throughout it.
Regal
Suiting of the
speech.
Lord.
Interesting.
Oh, actually, I forgot. As far as like allies that you don't know of, that dude also cast an inquisitive thought. Oh wait, no, you already encountered him. Never mind.
Okay.
Was thinking of an enemy you already dealt with. Never mind.
All right. Well, it's better than nothing, I suppose. Okay. And then yeah, we'll just wait. Now this Grimoire of Four Corners. Does it detail... Like, it's a book about a diabolist is someone who consorts with demons.
Yeah.
So, does it detail, like, communication with demons? Like, contracts and stuff?
It does.
Okay.
Though
Then
reading
when I
it feels a
prepare-
little off.
What do you mean? Like, it's incomplete? Do you want me to make some checks?
You're not quite sure.
Is it
You
similar?
can totally make
Religion? Or Arcana? Or both? I can make both.
Arcana or History.
Arcana or History?
I'm
Okay.
wondering-
Should you ponder why?
I'm wondering if this one's like the books from Murder House.
24. In that they're wrong? Maybe.
Which did you use?
Let's do Arcana first.
Okay. The writings are interesting, but they're off base. Almost like someone has attempted to reconstruct what they read, but not understanding it fully. Or maybe assembled through hearsay. It's almost like it feels almost like a poorly ghost-written version of what something like this should be. And only someone with your knowledge could really tell that.
Right. Okay. Well then, if there's nothing else, let's rest for the night. I would like to. I don't want to stay in the Watcher House. I'll stay at the inn, and
Do we think? No.
as we go down before we go to sleep, I'm going to cast Dream, and send a dream to the guy we sent with the dress, and I will appear in front of him. When I cast the spell, is he asleep? Because I'm going to do it like later on at night.
Yes.
I will appear to him in his dream, and say to him, "I told you I would be watching."
So you are.
Yes, I am. And just to make sure you continue our contract and make no altercations to our deal, I'll be checking in with you every night. Until the deed is done.
A little creepy, but fine by me.
And I'm not gonna fully do it, but I'm gonna start to do the thing where like I turn into like a demon and force him to make a save and stuff. And I'm going to say, and if you do not, you will pay dearly.
A man of my word, I swear.
I will disappear.
Somewhere a man shivers.
This guy is super sketchy. I don't want him turning around and fucking with us. Also, I love this spell. It's so cool.
It's definitely one of those spells that is
Hella underrated.
a little bit.
And then, sleep, wake up the next day. I'm gonna switch around some
Are
of
the
my
both of you
prepared
sleeping at
spells.
the inn as well?
Yeah. Probably.
Do we get disturbed during the night? Because I'm gonna redo my spells now. Should I wait?
You do get disturbed, but it's fine. There is a point where Esmeralda finds her way to your room. I was gonna say, which person? Your room. More or less to just let you know that, like... Actually, no. She doesn't say she's here. She says we're here.
Good. Where is your master? I have something to discuss with him.
He's currently riding in my wagon outside town.
You have a wagon?
There's only so much that I can carry on myself.
That is fair. In the morning, I will go and speak to him. There is a woman. Or no, perhaps it is best to speak to him now. I need him to, if he is capable, prepare a spell of restoration. A strong one. The Watcher's daughter is mentally sick. believe he might be able to heal her.
Mentally sick. Is she like the boy in Kresik?
Yes. If he can prepare a spell of restoration strong enough, she might be able to be healed.
Well, then we must.
Yes.
He must be informed right away.
And I'll go and talk to him and tell him.
Hey.
Okay.
The two of you sneak around in the dead of night. You tell him of this, and while he does initially, you are given minor resistance when you inform him of the nature of this woman and her connections. He ultimately does decide to do so, remarking that, for nothing else, children should not suffer for the crimes of their parents.
I agree.
Well, hopefully we can get some information from her.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm also going to prepare detect evil and good.
So I keep forgetting because it's changed so much. What does that actually do now?
Detects elementals, fae, undead, celestials, and what I'm actually preparing it for, demons.
Okay.
Ooh, neat.
Then I will unprepare. It feels weird unpreparing any of these, but I'll unprepare arcane weapon. Detect the evil and good. So yes, I prepared teleportation circle and detect evil and good to my spell list. And yeah, let's So you want to do the healing first?
It'll take him a little bit of time to prepare. So I was actually going to take a break real quick.
Okay.
And we return. Rictavio has finished preparations. And will be able to heal her.
Good.
I think we could fix this sun after we hit Amber Temple.
Obviously, entry into the house is easy. While lightly tossed, it's still in order.
Before we enter into the house, I will cast Detect Evil and Good. For 10 minutes, if I come within 30 feet of an aberration, celestial, elemental, fae, fiend, or undead, it pings and I know where they are.
Okay.
And basically I'm just going to have it up as we walk through the house.
Alright. You put it up.
Seal to these.
Esmeralda, notices. Is like, Rictavio also notices, though is more focused. The group of you, presuming it is the entire group,
I thought it was just
moves to
him
the room.
and those two, because he snuck off.
No, that was in the middle of the night.
Oh.
This is in the morning after we've all gotten back up.
Yeah, it takes some time.
Duh.
So
Okay.
whoever wants to be there for her being cured can.
I'm not trusting
You have a
Sure.
decent amount of privacy. Casimir very adamantly doesn't want to stray too far from you,
Right.
fearful of what will happen. So he's gonna be there no matter what.
Okay.
You were able to approach the door. It is still locked.
Alright, I'll pick it now.
Okay.
And as soon as you
14? Or wait. Hold on, I almost forgot. 19 or 18.
as he's picking it, because I assume you've described what's happened and stuff to her, I will prepare if somebody tries to bolt from that room to grab him.
There's some scratching at the door. It is not high enough.
Sorry, this is my first time attempting this. I will try again.
Seems a bit better.
25.
This is a really tough lock. You managed to make it through, but just barely.
Damn, that's a good lock.
Once the thing comes open, I will say, blasted. There, it is done.
As you open the door, there is some scrambling, as well as the faint smell of filth, both human and non, that hits you as you
Grass.
get a proper view of the room, which is messy and has like torn linens here and there about. The person within scrambled back, like you first hear the scrambling, and then you see that they have taken up a perch on the bed on all fours and are now hissing at you, but also the rest of the group.
Calm yourself, child. We are here to help you.
It does the human version of a cat, or it does its best imitation of a cat, like rearing like its back up, though it's kind of a weird twist to say the least, as it like hisses and like raises like a hand, like a defensive hand.
This girl's a fucking loony. Jesus Christ.
Her soul is broken.
Octavio.
Esmeralda shakes her head. What cruel, cruel fate could have brought her to such a state? Octavio says nothing but prepares to. I'm gonna look, because I think he probably has a spell to like make this easier.
Oh, to restrain her?
Yeah.
Well, it just has to
You might want to conserve. We're going to the Emperor Temple next. Siguror, can you hold her down?
And yeah, I guess I'll try to get a grapple. I mean,
Octavio is thinking about how to best approach the situation. You ask, you go. Just for funsies, I would like you to roll grapple. But I really doubt that she's
hey, I can roll bad. She's
not that.
It turns out she's super wily.
Dip.
If you roll a 1, she rolls a 20.
With the grace of a cat.
The grace of a cat rolling a 1.
Is this a strength check or is grapple athletics?
Athletics.
It's athletics.
19.
You've wrangled people and animals before. This shouldn't be too hard. And what do you know? It's not. She does her best. Her main mistake is like lashing out with the defensive hand / paw, which doesn't do anything.
No, David, her main mistake is that she's not actually a cat.
You could interpret it that way.
Yes.
And maybe you're right. Perhaps in her cat-like state, she assumes that you're just going to back off after a swipe, which is not true at all, as you are able to grab her.
Oh my god, that is hilarious.
Octavio moves forward and swiftly employs magic. Her body goes limp and then, like, retenses, as in, like, a person. As in, yeah. As she blinks and then looks about. What's going on? Why do you have me? Let me go.
Just for your protection.
You release her. She looks and then she looks, and she kind of like pulls a little bit at her like ripped and stained night dress, but obviously it's not gonna do her any
Right.
huge
Is
favors.
there like a sheet that looks
Who
like
are
it's a
you?
bit better?
What do you?
Like just looking.
It looks a bit better until you move it, and
Put it back down. Yeah, okay. Never mind.
Grass. I will say, you are okay now, child.
Who are you? What are you doing in here?
Your servants can explain. I'm sorry to have to tell you this. I don't care if she goes insane again. I'm gonna be so pissed. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but your mother is deceased, and your brothers have left. The Baron is dead as well, along with his wife. Your mother was a cultist who served Strahd.
A terrible monster, more like. It's her terrible treatment that put me in this way. I'm glad she's dead.
So it was
The
originally
Burgomaster as well?
Yes, the Burgomaster as well.
And his family?
His wife is dead. His son is gone.
It's good enough, I suppose.
This town has had things taken from it. There was looting after everyone died. Father Lucian runs the town now. This was something that was taken, that your mother took from people that her cultist had ambushed. You should take some of it, and Father Lucian will find a place for you. There are still 2 servants here. Perhaps they will want to go with you. I do not know.
Give their names.
We can walk you
They're
into town.
useless. None of the servants stepped in with any of it.
No.
And the priest? Could I even rely on him? You
He is-
freed me. Can't I come with you?
That would not be a wise decision. We aim to face the devil.
Himself, face to face. There's no place for a child.
But why? Doesn't he rule this land?
Once he is dead, truly dead, people will be able to leave. The mists will recede. That is our aim.
But it's also partially his fault why you were in the state you were in.
Once he is dead, Barovia will be free. You will be able to travel wherever you wish.
Don't want to travel. I just want to be safe with someone. Someone I can depend on.
The father is dependable,
He is a good man that has helped the town greatly.
but we cannot take you with us. Where we go is where evil treads.
Unless you know how to hold a sword.
No.
No, I'm assuming you're not a warrior. I can tell.
I'm sorry.
Well, if you must abandon me anywhere, I suppose the church is a bad place.
It is protected. There is holy power there. And I'll hand her, let's give her 50 of the electrum we took from that chest.
Or Electrum's like half gold.
Yeah, basically. It's 25 gold worth. That should be able to, you know.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah. That's a lot for a commoner. She should be good for a while off that.
She looks... Is this all that's left of the house? Of our money?
Everything of value.
She takes it.
If your brothers still live, they might have taken some with them when they left. But it does not sound as if you are eager to meet them.
No.
Family so willing to quickly abandon other family.
I would also...
They're useless.
The people of the town are resentful against your mother. I would not mention your parentage.
I feel
They'll
we should,
recognize me,
I feel we should at least escort you
We're
to
famous.
Lucian.
though I hold no love for my mother now.
I cast prestidigitation and change her hair color. Wash yourself and cut your hair. You will look different enough.
What if I didn't want to change my hair color?
That's a spec. I can undo it. If you do not mind people knowing who you are.
That's fine. I'll worry about it later. Somewhat poutily, she is guided into town, and while she wishes to stay with the people who found her, she is willing to resign herself to
There is
being
no
abandoned
way
at the
we're
church.
taking her to the Amber Temple.
We cannot take
Goddamn
Malcolm.
mind.
That'd be fucking taking a non-combatant to.
Is everyone ready?
Come on.
Yes.
Well, it's time to close then. I will reach down, I'll take out the inks and the chalks, and I'll begin drawing the circle.
Where did you plan to draw the circle? Because Esmeralda and Rictavio
Not Rictavio.
aren't going to join you through the town. I guess I should have mentioned.
Then we'll meet them out at their caravan.
They are fine with that.
No,
Or at the wagon.
the place that this will send us. It is known. It is a set place.
Yes, it is.
Alright. Then I will, before we go, I will prepare an action of, if there's any enemies, when we get there, I'm going to immediately attack with the spear, or with the blood spear.
Okay.
Because if the place is known, hey, I might be watching it. Obviously when you get close to finishing it. Because I assume it's like a lengthy cast time.
Rictavio,
it takes a minute or 10 minutes to cast something like that.
or more accurately, Van Richten remarks to himself, but like people who aren't currently casting are within earshot to hear him remark, I'm very interested to get a close-up look at this place. Oh, I would not employ any of its more sinister lore for my own purposes. Perhaps there are weaknesses to be learned there.
Okay. Yeah, it takes me a minute to draw a 10-foot diameter circle on the ground inscribed with sigils that link to a permanent teleportation circle.
And the circle you're making
begin-
is like another teleportation circle that's going to be placed in the land. That's
No, if you cast teleportation circle in the same location every day for a year, it becomes permanent.
Oh.
But other than that, otherwise it just fades after you use it. Zidinja alakampa, zidinja kirkampa, maskimzul, dinjazul, tran ukbar orbit teletis, chaguna mekodis, and trecum status di, in giram imus nocte et con sumimur igni. And create a big shimmering portal. And
If it is anything to consider.
no, quickly.
Oh.
It stays open for one round, so everyone's got to rush in.
Oh.
And that was in character, like, quickly now.
Ismark and Rictavio, or not Ismark, Esmeralda and Rictavio seem to be at least familiar, because when you start talking, like, they start moving. But, like, your warning is effective for people like Irina who don't know. They're like, oh, okay.
Everyone on the bus now, children. Shh. We're taking the teleportation.
I'd take a field trip to the Amber Temple.
You would?
Actually,
I wouldn't.
never mind.
Fuck that.
I forgot I'm a normal person. Never mind.
We're all commoners. Fuck that.
Yeah, if I was a 10th level wizard, sure.
Dark secrets. If you anyway. You all hurry through and quickly find yourself immediately immersed in very, very frigid air inside a room.
I will pull the cold cape closer. The warm weather clothing we got.
Before you left, it was discovered that both Esmeralda and Van Richten could provide for themselves as far as clothing went.
Okay, cool.
And were we able to get enough from the wire weavers for everyone, along with the 2 coats that we...
Yes.
Okay.
You, in the
It'll
biting,
be a like heavy
frigid
burn.
air,
Just like,
take a look at this room that you are now in. The furnishings of this bare stone room have succumbed to decrepitude. Standing in the center of the room, its head scraping the 10-foot-high ceiling, is a vaguely man-shaped construct made of dark wood and riveted iron. Its helmeted head stares blindly in your direction. Cobwebs stretch from its terrible artifice to the wrecked furniture that surrounds it. This room also possesses
Can
a
I
door.
roll a check to figure out what that is?
Sure.
What kind of check? I mean, it doesn't matter. I roll the same on each, but
I'll say Arcana. Though if you don't get it, there are a few other magic users in the group that probably
27.
know. Okay, so
Yeah.
there's a ponderous look from Esmeralda. Richavio's kind of kept his expressions close to the chest, so you're not sure. Casimir, seems to pay it special attention, but doesn't say anything. You know that this is a deactivated shield guardian.
Sasha is going to quickly, still pulling his coat close. He's going to walk up. He's going to place his fingers on it. He says, "Oh, I cannot be. Do you know what this is?"
Esmeralda says, I have a hunch, but Casimir, wanting to be knowledgeable, gets the better of him. He says, a shield guardian.
Yes. My master had one of these. I must find its necklace.
Yes. Well, yes. I'm here for a different purpose.
All of
I was
Casimir's
going to say,
want.
no. I will fight you, Casimir. That is my goddamn shield guard.
Casimir has something he specifically wants. Otherwise, maybe.
Oh. No, you have no idea, Ed. Ever since 2nd edition, I have wanted a shield guardian for a wizard, and I've never gotten one. This is my chance, finally.
Yeah, it is your chance.
Is there a way to
Waited over
track?
15 years
Oh.
for this.
Wait, you're pretty much perfectly set up to find it. I mean, if all the necklaces are the same.
Yes. Yeah, I can find the necklace.
There is also a doorway. There's no door in it, but just an entrance that leads out to the groups.
Should check the rest of the room. It might be around here.
Does
If not, I can use my magic to find it.
Or
Definitely not.
Yes, let us search the room. Oh.
The veritable army of NPCs begin searching the room. I will actually want rolls from you guys.
I'll send Sahar to do it. Sasha's going to be looking over the shield guardian while he ritually casts detect magic. And Sahar got... Also, I'll guide Sahar because I can do that. Sahar got a 24.
Okay. What do I get?
6.
And what about Crack?
21.
Okay. Y'all search the room. You do not find a necklace, though Crack does find some scraps of old paper that are partially burnt. And Sahar is able to find what appear to be the remains of what it believes to be a wand. If only because I assume you've been around wands, and so is Sahar.
Right.
But it's broken and busted, little bits.
Unfortunate.
What is the range of detect magic?
60 feet.
Okay. What is magic around here? Other than the shield guardian.
Well, I mean, is the shield guardian magical if it's not activated?
Admittedly, I don't know. I was just assuming.
I think it is.
You said 60?
60 feet.
Okay. I do believe you're going to pick up on some things. There are a number of spots of magical energy, though they feel equivalent to like someone having burned a hole like in a map. They're like black and twisted, and you just feel it through the thing. They're in groups of 3, like a little ahead, like approximately like 40 feet ahead, and also there are 2 more clusters of 3 that are like back about like 40 or 50 feet.
Huh.
You also pick up on some magic in the hallway outside this door and in the same direction, though not quite as far. These are more normal.
Strange.
And I believe with that range, that is what you pick up from here.
How strange. Well,
Ismark shrugs. I didn't find anything.
I suppose we should continue on. I found strange magical readings near us, like blackened fragments of a map. I do not know what they are. What exactly are you looking for here, Casimir?
I believe the secret. The secret to redeeming my deceased sister lay here. There are powerful magical secrets here, so naturally something that could help. A spirit would be here.
Spirit.
Van Richten chips in. It sounds like you are not telling us everything. If you're simply looking for resurrection, why not state it?
Yes, I am
Casimir
curious.
Looks. Perhaps in the company that I keep, it wouldn't be so weird to say that. Those at the camp likely would have called me a fool, but you work great magics. Perhaps it's not so strange.
We have seen a resurrection in this land, yes. And it had mixed results.
Well, I know that this will be different. I mean, it has to be. She's been dead for a long time. Beyond the reach of normal magic. This place was my only hope. It is my only hope.
You see this guy kind of break.
But if that is the case, be prepared for her to be potentially in a worse state than the daughter we saw.
She won't be.
Casimir, the spirits here are the same. If they are even here still, are the same spirits that made Strahd what he is. You really wish to make a deal with them?
He visibly gets a little nervous. As almost every NPC acknowledges your good point and looks at him. We are both wizards, are we not? We know what it is like to trifle with what some would call forbidden. Surely bravery and intellect makes the difference between a foolish man's gamble and a wise man's bargain.
It also makes the difference between a living man and a vampire. Yes.
You're not about to go back on our deal, are you?
I did not say that. I promised I would renew you, and I have. I'm saying you might want to think carefully over exactly what it is you want and what you are willing to give up for it.
Of course.
I will not have 2 Dark Lords that must be slain.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. Never.
Alright, let us continue on. I mean, there's only one way out of here, right?
Yeah.
Alright,
Is there something that...
we have
No, see, I was thinking I should be rolling insight. Like, as soon as you bring up he wants to make a deal with these dark things, I should be rolling insight on you, like, the entire time.
Yeah,
But
this
things
is
have-
way more
Things,
sketchy than
things
I
have
thought it
already been
was.
said, so I feel like it'd be out of place. Or do you think it's fine?
I don't know,
If I were to roll
sell his fucking soul.
insight on this shit.
You can roll when you're suspicious. I also advocate being suspicious and just doing things if you're suspicious enough.
Fucking, you're willing to make a deal with things that made Strahd. What?
Okay, so we have 8 people, so formation should be you 2 up front,
Well, we should have.
Ismark and Rictavio in back,
Okay.
and then me and Casimir in front of them, and then Irina and Esmeralda in the
Back
second.
middle.
So first row is those 2. Second row is Irina and Esmeralda. Third row is me and Casimir. Fourth row is Ismark and Rictavio. That's how I want the formation to be. Unless anyone has any problems with that.
For my own visual aid, it would be Siguror and Crack up front, and second row.
Irina and Esmeralda.
I'm fine with that.
And then me and Casimir. Because you don't want the mages literally in the back in case we get back attack.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rictavio and Ismark in the back in case of a back attack.
Yeah, they don't have crazy armor class like fucking.
How armored
Although,
is Rictavio?
You're faster than Ismark, so maybe you and Ismark should trade places. Maybe Ismark should be up front with you, and you should be in the back with Rictavio.
He
'cause
doesn't
you
have a lot
range,
of range
and
options.
Ismark has almost no range.
He has like a crossbow. But
So, can we switch that? Put
Sure.
Ismark up front where he is, and him behind with Rictavio.
I'll be Neri's sister and you can be the front.
He can be up front.
You form up, and then move into a much larger hallway. The walls and ceiling of this great hall are coated in amber that glistens like fresh honey. Dust covers the black marble floor. To the north, the hall has collapsed, leaving a wall of rubble. Many amber doors lead from this hall. Standing in front of the south door, however, are 3 ugly women in tattered black gowns with brooms and black pointed hats. As you enter out into the hall, you can hear them talking. Exithus, Scorthath, Meldoc. A second one shakes her head. None of those appeared to work. This is fruitless. Let me try. There's a third one that says, No, you didn't let her try properly. You need to wait for the door. And like when you get out in the hallway proper, you see that they're out in front of like a door at the southern end of the hall. You need to give proper time for the door to obey commands. The one that was trying says, No, I don't. You know that magic responds instantly. Instantly. It wouldn't just ignore me if I said the right thing, so I've put enough space between it. Unless you want to try, maybe I do. Maybe I don't want you to.
I'll think about it.
Okay. What else is in the room aside from these 3
Witches?
hoiches? Clearly.
Specifically, this hallway has like a large entryway that leads out into a much larger room, which you can see. That's like straight across. At the southern end are the witches that are bickering in front of a door that one of them is trying to unlock, seemingly. There's a door to their right on the same wall as the entrance that you came out of. There's also the door that you came out of, or the archway that you came through, and there's an archway behind the way that you came through before a bunch of collapsed rubble.
So there's like 6 entrances, but one is blocked. Or doorways in this. Or am I miscounting?
There are 5 ways. One of them is one you came through.
Are they the ones that his detect magic is picking up as the black spots?
No. You think, like, one of those clusters is beyond them, like, beyond the door that they're in front of.
The one they're trying to get through.
And getting perspective, the other door, like, to their side is also, like, the other place. Like, it would make sense. Now, you picked up on some normal magic signatures, and now that you're out here, like, they have brooms that are kind of hovering and chilling in a way that a normal broom does not. You're thinking that's the other thing that you picked up on.
They have brooms of flying. Or they've enchanted their brooms to fly.
That's probably closer.
Okay. You don't want to give us 3 flying.
In this case, the book didn't.
Alright.
It knows. The book knows.
I like... I don't know, witches serve Strahd.
You sure you don't want to jump in the game of Quidditch or what the fuck ever that game's called?
Oh, yeah, clearly. Sasha's a grandmaster Quidditch player, ignoring the fact that he can't see the balls.
Ignoring that.
No, you ignore everything, but you listen for the snitch.
Yeah.
Thank you. You listen for that and go straight for it.
I cast locate object on the snitch. Where is it? That guy has it.
Then they win. They just get points and win.
Hey, he found it.
That is hilarious.
Anyway,
I will... I don't know, what is everyone else looking like? They haven't seen us yet, right? How far away are we from them?
So they're too harsh and bickering.
you are currently 20 feet away from them. They have not noticed you. Van Richten and Esmeralda have, like, hands on weapons, but they're not, like, jumping yet. They're double checking with other people, like, visually, but they're preparing to attack. Ismark is preparing to attack, but he's not gonna leap to it.
I'll, like, nod to everyone. I think we should just take them out. They're witches. Witches serve Strahd. Like, every witch we come across
There
serves Strahd.
is no way a witch would not be serving Strahd. I mean, in this land.
Think about every witch we've come across.
Bubble Saga.
If you are...
The witch inside of Strahd's castle?
If you are curious...
The hag, yeah.
If you want to try to talk to them first, you can, but you're going to have to push for that.
Yep.
You've got a bunch of NPCs that are going to follow your guys' lead, if for no other reason than because you've accomplished some pretty great things.
Sasha's reaching for his gun.
Witch hunt.
Okay, I'm going to...
Guilty by
I'm
association.
gonna have the spear and get ready to fucking throw it.
Alright, let's sneak attack these witches.
Is there any of them that look...
Finally,
Different-
for once, we're on the end of the... We're not on the bad end of an ambush for one time in this whole fucking campaign.
You guys don't get ambushed that often.
Like 4 or 5 times since the game has started. And we've successfully ambushed no one.
I'll actually take a hand axe instead of a spear. That seems like a way smarter idea.
Bullet time. Or actually, maybe I should just firebolt him. Because I unprepared arcane weapon to prepared detect evils.
See, there's 8 of us. Does everybody want to go in? No.
Okay. So I forgot that the map was measuring in longer squares, so I'm just going to say, like, you can get up to them
Okay.
wherever you want to attack from.
Is the temple dark, by the way? Like is it actually like considered dark that we're in, or?
Yes. So I
Disadvantage?
wasn't thinking about that. Well, no, just light.
Oh, okay.
You'll just need light, which can be provided, I believe.
So no advantage on stealth checks.
I mean, that's also true.
Yes, then. I roll. To what? 2 dice?
Oh, wait, are we rolling stealth or are we just attacking them?
I thought you were just attacking.
Yeah, let's just attack them.
I thought he was asking about, like, in the future, when I sneak to them and they get advantage of my stand. I was like, yeah, I guess so.
Is that something I just wanted to quickly clarify because something I messed up on?
Yeah?
I misunderstood proficiencies on instruments, and it was clarified for me. When I started, I had proficiency in horn, which means I have proficiency in horn instruments. Not wind instruments, string instruments, not stuff.
Yeah.
Not split in that category.
Okay.
Yeah.
The pipes of haunting are pipes, not horns.
So you're not proficient.
I am not proficient in the pipes of haunting.
Ah.
So that means I can still use them, but I have to make a check and then also like probably take damage from using them.
I forgot we had pipes of haunting. When did we get pipes of haunting?
It was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't thinking about it myself.
They've never come up.
I've once every
Ed
time
was
we've
immediately
come across,
interested in them.
every time we've come across like groups of enemies,
I should.
every time we've come across a thing of enemies, they've all been things that are probably immune to fear. Usually, since we've gotten them.
Yeah, I guess. So you want those attack rolls, David?
Or do you want initiative
not
first?
Should I fireball them?
Not quite yet. And then Irina. Then we got Casimir, who I thought was the only person that I didn't have a marker for, and then I realized, oh, Fenrickson, he should get one.
Is there any?
I was next to Cassidy.
Oh yeah. And then here. Bismarck. His mark was up here.
That's exactly how I would have set it up too. It would crack right behind me. Crack kicks ass. That's why I want defending me. You haven't let me down yet.
Let's see, who will be first? Crack will be first. And then now is the time of Crack.
Which ones are which, by the way? Are the taffies the brooms, or is that the kisses?
The Taffies are the brooms. What's Crack going to do?
I would attack which is unfortunate.
I like candies.
Such is the plight of the system.
Especially since I'm pretty sure Craig is not. We'll probably know nothing about
They use magic.
Yeah. Alright.
They use magic and they steal babies.
That's habits. Witches might steal babies. It's an explicit part of habits.
I'm just using my points that I have into the proficiency to know about witches.
Fair enough. Which one do you attack?
I probably reach it, but just go straight. Probably just.
I was considering
Well,
fireballing them, but I'm not going to be able
If
to.
you want to make a 5-foot step to the left, it's double every step you take through us.
Which is 10 times.
Yeah, he can still reach it.
Even if he goes directly through us.
He
doesn't
has
matter.
like 60.
I'm pretty sure you could reach any and up to this witch. You just take 5. Go straight.
I'll just go straight for the fucking door.
Very well. You aggress one of the brooms. that kind of swivels towards you, despite not having eyes.
I crit.
But it's a last-minute swivel.
About to crit this broom.
That's ridiculous.
Unlike his,
Hey, you want to
unlike
attack
his
first?
brother, who takes the threat of broom serious.
That's true. That's very true.
Come back, of course.
This one's a flying bird. The last one was just animated. It was just sweeping at us aggressively.
Sweeps aggressively.
Simple thing.
Yeah, so we'll see.
So 15.
Pretty sure they're not
That
undead brooms.
is
Oh.
a hit.
What do you crit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Oh wait, no.
Yeah.
With 17 damage.
No, it's
15 was the net.
15. I'm gonna punch it twice.
You
You can swing twice.
Oh yeah. Alright, yeah.
So you get 2 sword and then either 1 or 2 punches.
You hack into it, sending splinters flying as you destroy a heavy chunk.
I assume the hits could be out myself. Okay. So, yeah, 14.
The barest shred of wood that was holding 2 ends together is easily snapped as you destroy it. It falls in a heap. Pretty skeleton.
You got a hollow
Nice.
I'll punch it. I'll punch the kids.
I forgot.
I got
That hits.
this is a 10.
You punch out and dislocate her jaw. You feel it as you connect. You've harmed her significantly. She is both angry and surprised at this fact.
Yeah, good job. No, she can't do both spells. Wasn't that like a 3.5, like a style or something once we did? Like
I
just
think
hit,
there was a feat.
it's like punch casters in the jaw so hard you prevent them from casting verbal spells.
There like
Ismark attacks. Attacks twice even. Hold this up on.
a lot of times on because they have this surprise condition.
We'll roll this one again. His first attack is critical. He plunges his blade straight through the witch's heart, kills her. I'll roll this. I do believe, yes, it is still a hit. As he then turns and attempts to chop the other broom in half, and hits, connects, real damage. It is a decent amount of damage, but it's still, air quotes, alive. Then becomes another of those turns, because of surprise. Some other, like, of the witches and brooms that were made, like, turn, was like, they can't go yet.
Yes.
It's Siguror now.
Okay. I guess I prepared for first attack to be hucking a hand axe with your sneaking up on him.
Alright.
Yeah, that one.
Very well. Axe.
So, rage.
Jeff is reminding you that you pay attention because you're surprised.
Well, does this one already, like, does its turn come up and pass?
Not yet.
Okay.
decent consideration.
That is a 22 to hit.
That's
10 damage on the hand axe attack.
You throw your hand axe and it buries itself in one of the witch's shoulders. She cries out in anger and anguish.
Draw the blood spear, charge forward. Oh, that one is also surrounded, since that was the first thing I hit. And swing at this one with the blood spear. With that one's turn coming up.
It has.
Okay.
If you really want to not have advantage.
Just keep them to the root. That is a 28 to hit.
That's it.
Six. 12. 12 damage.
Serve
Just drop damage.
That's 12 damage.
Yeah, that will be
That
formalized. Certain. Yeah.
It then becomes someone else's turn. Specifically, comes to Tavi's turn. Here. Advance. Boldly. He draws a blade from within his hand and slashes twice. Though once actually proves to be enough. It might actually. It is not enough. He further wounds the witch.
With the bolt axe.
No, he misses the one.
Oh.
He misses the second one. It is a little cool. Then becomes both Sasha and Esmeralda's turns.
I see we both equally should. Alright. Those two are injured because we have that range. Okay, so
Surrounded, injured. Actually, this one's almost dead. It's Rictavio also. Sorry, not Rictavio. Van Richten also.
sorry. Firebolt's back. I guess. Does a 29 hit?
It does.
10 fire damage, sorry, just guess.
This one?
Yes, that. It's like a great bolt of flame. Fire.
Fire a bolt of flame, searing flesh, smoldering cloth. Esmeralda moves in, flanks Siguror, and attacks.
Doesn't she? Sorry. Sorry about this.
You made it right.
There's two main afterthoughts that I'm starting off here. Is how I could work it.
Pretty old though. I just want to figure it out. There's something that has to do that eventually.
Technically, all it is just use your bonus action to attack an offhand weapon, as long as the weapon is light, and if the attack is normal, but you don't add your modifier to the damage.
The stat modifier.
You don't have the stat unless you have to do the fight this time. You have it on the visual.
Esmeralda hacks, pierces, and then slashes with her offhand. Hand axe. Between these 3 attacks, is able to destroy this witch.
The only downside of having all these NPCs, aside from experience, but the other downside is this is
Casimir goes. He throws a firebolt.
They're both like
I'm gonna say. What? Okay. Excellent. Unfortunately, he misses. Explain those sailing. Yeah, Irina also says. Why not?
triple fireball.
She also gives it a hurl, perhaps thinking internally.
Did they have a turn order? Also, if they have familiars, they can use that to make something. I don't know if Casimir does, but if I read it to find familiar, that is one of the spell choices.
Yeah, perhaps for me. Perhaps thinking that she could impress you, outshining one of your colleagues. She hurls bolt flame, but doesn't. It also doesn't connect. Thankfully, perhaps she thinks to herself, "It's good that I kept that inside." Otherwise, it was.
It's funny that I'm just like fireballs, and they're like, "Good idea." Shit.
This made shit's easier than he makes it, or harder than he makes it look. With that,
It was pretty fun though.
enemy and ally turns have passed, and now comes back around to Crack.
On the other side, but yeah, that's fine.
Advantage is fun.
I did remember that. I forgot it. Okay, this one's a 26. So it's,
It doesn't.
12 damage.
You attack. Karma. Just hurts. Bits of splinter and hay.
If I could do that. 24.
It's also these things are wild. 13. No match for your target. You are able to, with one final punch, silence it. Forever.
So,
With one final slash, you were able to sever it forever.
how far away is that? Within 30 feet or not?
Yeah, it's
Alright.
about to blast it.
Yep.
I think you might want to step here and have a more clear shot.
So
Well, that's a 15.
That is a hit. It almost manages to get out of your way.
11 damage.
He blasted with your key for 11 damage. It's partially incinerated, but it's still hitting.
Your key blast hit me, obviously, from that style. It doesn't. I'm just saying that would be dope.
Whoa.
Because
What
it
about
about archery.
because it's ranged, right?
Yeah, it's a spell attack. It doesn't benefit from either of them. It'd be cool.
Spell
if it did.
sniper. It's a spell.
Spell three would make up the range. I don't know. I'd have to look.
You could also do the elemental increase.
Get all the radiant.
Really?
No, you have to take it for fire.
Oh, an element. Right.
Ismark moves in and then guardedly attacks, slashing and killing the final of the brooms.
Alright.
With its initiative of 10, it was almost ready to show you what was up.
I will turn to them and say, well, because they were trying to get through this door with some sort of magic word. Also, perhaps it would be best to make use of this, yes?
Out of character, what are you referring to?
Sasha looks at the bodies, trying to gauge if anyone's gonna, object.
To looting them?
No. But Sasha's not gonna explain, he's gonna say that if anyone reacts strangely.
Van,
I'm gonna take that as loot them. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna start looting.
Van Richten says, as you must. Or actually, Van Richten says it would be a good idea.
I will hold out my hands and I will count Klatu, Barada, Nikto, and as I do, I will raise the 3 witches as zombies, casting a 4th level animate dead.
Irina and Ismark are surprised.
As soon as you do that,
Wait, actually, is that new? Because Irina might not be surprised.
Oh, that is. It's new and not new. She was there when I added it to my spellbook from Victor's spellbook.
But you've obviously
But
never
I
cast it.
haven't cast it yet. This is the first time I'm casting because I literally just learned it the
I
other
think
day.
the only necromancy spell you've
Then she
ever
is
cast
less. Then she is
False
less surprised.
Stab it out! And go for the blood spear, but stop! Realize, wait.
Ismark
Magic.
would pick up his weapon, but he just go, yes, I'm surprised too.
It is temporary. Long enough for them to be useful. I've done nothing with their soul. I do not think I even could in this place.
I'll check the room.
But the corpse is just a corpse.
I got 20.
Irina does ask, what are you going to do with them?
Throw them at their enemies.
I got 20 and check the door.
The door directly in front of you?
Yeah, well, the ones that they were talking about.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna bring up a zombie stat block.
Oh man.
Well, I can
Zombie
raise
stat.
zombies or skeletons, so I'm gonna look at them both and see which one is more useful.
I think I read it once, so yeah.
I think zombies are probably a little bit. Skeletons do resist.
Well, skeletons have a ranged attack, although I'm not sure if me raising them gives them the bow that they have on their stat block. I should ask that. Does it give them the bow that they have on their stat block? Because if so, I might do skeletons just for the range.
I'm gonna say no.
Could we have taken the bows? Oh, but I had this spell when we fought those skeletons. Could I have taken some of their bows?
Yeah. If you wanted to, you could have.
Okay.
Bows and
Probably
bolts.
raise skeletons. I'm gonna look at
I
both
am
of them.
fine with that.
Bows and arrows, right? Bows do not use bolts.
Just make sure. Crack begins checking the door. And as he does so, he feels like a tingle along his spine. However, checking the door yields no traps. You do know that this door is sealed. It can open. It's not locked in so much as it is sealed, like you don't find an obvious locking mechanism on the door itself.
Okay.
While looking over it, you also see writing that claims nothing. I misread something. My bad.
That doesn't have common or.
Is there any writing or scripture along or around the door?
I thought there might have been, but no.
Yeah, I raise 3 skeletons and give them of the 8. Because if we looted each of the skeletons, that's 8 short swords and 8 short bows, so I'll give each of them a short sword and a short bow.
Makes sense to me.
It is temporary, I assure you. But if Strahd will raise the dead against us, there's no reason we cannot respond in kind.
Well, certain character that there's
From
no
everything they had
traps.
on, maybe they had like a book or maybe
yeah,
something
did they
magical
have
that like
anything?
tells them, hey, go to this door or say this word that they were just forgetting.
So they were saying magic words.
I assume there are
Can I
many.
look over the door with an Arcana check and see if the locking mechanism is based off saying a certain word?
I also say it's sealed.
I will say you could do that, but if you believe crack in that it's sealed, then that's more or less.
It seems like it needs a word. Or perhaps it could be dispelled. Unfortunately, I'm not prepared that magic today.
I doubt it would be this simple. Strahd Vanzarovich, looking at the door.
Oh! What was that wizard's name? Where I got the staff from?
You say it, you look at the door does not move.
Because I was remembering the tomb that we were in is like,
You.
okay.
Was it Kazan?
And I believe so.
Kazan. They were saying X something.
The door does not move.
What did they say before?
There was 3 words that they had stated.
Yes.
All
It's
different.
X something and then something with an S. Can I roll an int check to remember?
Esmeralda contributes. One tried Exalther, I think.
Exalt.
Esmeralda says you do it. It doesn't move.
Did the words they used?
Octavio says, I think one of them said shacks.
Shucks.
Sorry, something.
Do any of the words they are using come from anything?
No,
A
but
story.
if they were mistaken, it might not be that far off. Out of character. Can I roll history to see if there's any names that are like sounding close to one of those? Starting with shocks?
Yes.
Okay. I'll roll a history check.
It'd be real funny if it's just as simple as one person has to say all 3 words. There's just each of them
22
saying one
on
word.
a name that is similar to shocks,
That would be quite funny.
if there is one. And if it helps any, as part of my background, I got to start with a random book. And the book I started with was Histories of Barovia, so if they're important to Barovia. I think this came up when Kazan came up, because I made a history check on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a book of history.
Running back through your knowledge of history, you're not thinking of a shacks that would be important.
Okay.
Unless you thought of no shacks.
Can I roll on the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, and did anyone remember the third one? Because I can roll int to remember if no one else does.
They're
'Cause it's
currently
like
thinking
3,
about
right?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, then I'll roll.
Begin with a K.
21 on my second history check.
Just making sure. Well, you know, there is no. You said 21, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's no Exalter, but there was an Exanther who came to the Amber Temple supposedly after it had been corrupted. You read about it. He was an evil mage that also found the secret, allegedly, to lichdom within this place.
The
No.
black spots that you're...
Lichdom?
Though history doesn't say anything about him after he came here, and he made his home within the wretch that was once a safeguard of evil magics, long corrupted. It is said that the legacy of the evil archmage Exanther did not stop there, though little know what happened after.
Those black pockets of magic you're picking up behind this door and other doors.
I have no idea. Sasha will say aloud, Exanther.
The doorway does not stir.
Son.
Perhaps it is all three. One person must say all three.
Exanther. Shas. What was the third one?
Casimir contributes. I don't remember, but perhaps there will be clues. Within, I wish to see what is on the other side of this door, but I don't think we have the means to breach it. If the witches had, they wouldn't have had trouble, likely.
I suppose.
I will take out one of the things of chalk that I have and just mark the door, so then we'll remember where it is. Or easier to notice if we're walking through again.
Alright.
There's a
Do we
similar
want to search
door
around
right to the
the
side of you. And
Let's
this,
give the
this
room-
is a hallway.
Okay. So there's not really anything in here.
No.
Alright, then let's keep going. There's only one way, right? The way we kept going?
Kind of. The hallway came to an end where the witches in that door was, and there is another door like this door, like to your side,
A sealed door.
Let's give it a look.
and then back this way is a place that you came out of, a place you haven't explored, and then a larger archway that appears to go to a larger room.
Okay. Well, we can look at those after. Let's check this door first.
None of you would happen to have knowledge in mason as a mason.
No.
I'm also mentioning it out loud.
Casimir could build you something from stone, though.
I'm thinking if these cannot be opened and we do not know the words, perhaps they can be broken.
Magic darts usually do not break. If someone had a spell of dispelling prepared, we could attempt that on the door. But if this place is powerful magic, it may not work. And unfortunately, I do not. I don't even think I know dispel magic, which is a bummer if that's true. Yeah, I don't even know dispel magic.
This
It wasn't in Casimir's book, right?
Nope, it was not.
is another door that appears like the first, but I'm going to check something because while you had said it once, you said it again, and that might jog somebody's memory of something.
I mean, Esmeralda might know dispel magic. I don't know. And Van Richten could too. It is a cleric spell. I don't know if either of them do, but
Esmeralda says, wait. And then approaches the door and gives it a little inspection of her own. What I thought. It is magically sealed, but there's more than one way to get through a magical seal. I believe I have a magic that could unlock at least one of these doors. Which one would you like?
She fucking knock.
she might.
Out of character, she does. not to ruin the surprise, but she's like, oh, wait a minute.
Well, if the witches wanted to get into this one, it must be important, yes. I say we do that one.
Van Richten nods.
Your senses
That
may
makes
pick
the
up
most
anything from the other door.
Makes the most sense.
There are black spots all over. I do not know what they mean until I see them.
Did you pick up a school from them?
I assume they were non-school based, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Darkest of dark magics.
Yeah.
She.
I'm gonna prepare if anything.
I mean, a lot of things don't have a school they're associated with.
If anything
Magic
hostile
weapons.
comes through that door, I'm stabbing the fuck out of it.
She casts a spell. The door opens.
Well done.
Thank you. It opens, revealing a room beyond, and 3 hissing skulls engulfed in flame. They yell and scream and charge at you as soon as the door is opened.
Okay. That is sick. And I prepare to fight. Let's roll some initiative. Okay, not this one. You're the one who rolled a 1. I'm rolling this one.
Since I stayed.
Or wait, no.
Did you want to
Take
get
this one.
an attack before initiative, or
21.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry. 22 on initiative. There we go. Something good.
You can get a little prepared in there since you did prepare.
Me and my skeletons are gonna fuck these guys up. This is cool. Flame skulls, huh? Man, I haven't seen these since like 2nd edition. And not even technically 2nd edition. They're in Baldur's Gate. Like, that's where I remember them from. I don't think I've ever actually played a game that used flame skulls. That's really neat.
Yeah, I thought they sounded pretty cool.
Yeah.
When the book was
I
like
have no
flame
idea
skulls.
what they do.
they might have like
Fireball or
Closet
something.
closet's ability, maybe. Think it
I
might be weird.
have no idea. I've never looked. Has eye lasers. What the fuck?
Oh no, they cast firebolt from their eyes.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I'm not over your thing. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. It's empty.
Okay. What did you get?
I got 14 on initiative, but for that prepared attack, asked for if it was a 16 to hit.
And I will deal with that in due course.
22.
22. And what about
22.
very snazzy.
Flame skull. So fire probably will be very effective. So that kind of kills my cantrip.
You don't have 2 damaging cantrips?
I just have fireball.
Squig has learned. That's why he has firebolt and acid splash.
Yeah, well,
Just in case.
I wanted guidance and mending.
It's not bad.
Guidance. Mending.
Do, 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 do.
You know what'd be funny? If we finish up the Amber Temple, go back to Krezk, and we get there before the guy does. Because it's a few.
I don't think that will happen.
Because it's like a week away, but the Amber Temple is like a few days away from Krezk, if I'm remembering correctly.
Probably gonna spend some time here.
It would be funny if you guys did beat him there. I doubt you will, but you might. Or it would be funny if you did. You could have just fucking... Could have just gone... Whatever. You paid me. It's fine, I guess.
Well, now we don't have to return to Krezk. Now we can just teleport
I
directly
thought there
to
was something
Strahd
to
Castle.
Abbott, too. somebody said they wanted to deal with.
No, the only thing we wanted to go back there for was to return the dress. And now we don't need to.
Supposedly.
Supposedly.
We also needed to return the horses, didn't we? Because we promised to.
Return them.
Yeah, we don't really need to. Consider it payment for a job well done.
You guys will have time to discuss it or whatever. But in the meantime, there are flame skulls that are going to attack. You get in a quick thrust. And that's not a flame skull. This is it. Said it was 16 to hit, which is a hit.
13 damage.
For 13.
Magical because it's blood sphere. I mean, I don't know if that matters for them. It is also piercing, so I don't know if these things have the same resistance as the skeletons.
You learn that they are. As you thrust out, you feel that it kind of skims a little bit. You still hurt it, and not as much as you could have.
Actually, just noticed I don't have any more blunt weapons.
Well, they will absolutely attack. They did not get higher initiative than Sasha or Crack, so Sasha and Crack make up. And if you want to be standing differently when the door opened, you can. So I'll put Esmeralda there because she opened it.
Alright.
Matt.
Just next to the door, so I can get something.
Most of my damage is fire. That being said, how big is the door? Is it the space Esmeralda is in?
It's
or
10 feet.
Is it Esmeralda and the space next to her?
Yeah.
The open space next to her? Cool. Move here. I'm gonna use the staff, shoot a lightning bolt, hit all three of them. Because it'll go like this.
And just
Nifty.
Yep. So they all need to make dexterity saving throws against DC 17. And I will roll my 10d6 lightning damage.
There's three. Dexterity saving throws. Is it against 17?
Yeah.
Okay. One of them made it.
Could be better.
yeah, definitely.
27. I rolled pretty bad. Damage-wise.
That one was already damaged.
And additionally, my 3 skeletons were fire.
As your lightning connects, you see portions of it spark and sizzle in peculiar ways when they make contact with these skulls. They appear to be resistant to lightning damage.
Oh, damn.
That's annoying. Damn, I did even shittier damage. But 3 attacks on the main one, or whoever they can reach, with their bows. 1 crit, 1 rolled a 7, which I assume is a miss, and 1 rolled a 14.
That is it.
Okay. So this is the crit, and this is the crit crit is going to do less damage than the normal one. The crit deals deals 4 damage, and the non-crit deals 8 damage, so 10 damage altogether.
And which ones are those on?
The first one, just the one straight up. 3 arrows.
Oh, you're piercing.
What was that again? Sorry, I only
10
10
damage on the first one.
2 separate instances because they're both piercing and there's the same piercing.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Spear.
Then, yeah, fuck it. So, 5 damage. Or no, 6 damage. Because it would have been 2 and 4. Sorry.
And you then have new skeletons and
They have bows. They're back here.
Oh, the whole point. Okay, so whatever. What about you? What's Crack to do?
Line up towards that attack.
This
Yeah,
one? Okay. You advance.
And I want to know right?
None of them have gone yet.
28 to hit.
That is a hit.
And this is undead.
I'm pretty sure.
Weird, they weren't flying skulls.
I'm gonna say yeah.
I mean, I guess they could be demonic. Yes.
And it's natural, so. Next one got 26.
Yeah, it's also hit.
Because dual race stuff.
11 damage
Position.
again.
Right.
And then punch. And I got. 23 to hit.
Cool. That is it.
And I got.
Fuck you, man.
6 damage on that.
Ah, but they don't resist your punches.
Yeah, they don't.
Because
it's
it's
still,
much.
it's still crap.
Well, they shouldn't resist his sword anyway.
Yeah.
Does it say they resist like all piercing, or does it say resist piercing from non-magical weapons?
It's probably piercing.
It's piercing, so I assume like whole piercing. However, you dealt enough damage to destroy it between your attacks and the damage that you've already taken.
I assume they were just skeletons, so I assume they were just both piercing and
That's
slashing.
licorice, right?
Skeletons are resistant.
I don't know.
That's licorice state?
I don't.
That or cinnamon.
Licorice. I'm not. That's the licorice one.
I don't know.
Very well.
All yours.
You can have it.
Oh, I didn't kill it. I didn't do anything.
Oh my god, just
Jesus went technically differently. Now it would be. Oh. It would be an enemy's turn. This flaming skull delivers a hissing scream and then fires an ember-colored ray from its eyes. It actually fires two.
It does have eye lasers.
One at Esmeralda. Once at Esmeralda. So that.
Wait, does this get a scorching ray from its eyes?
Though Esmeralda manages to duck it just barely, he also gives a shot at Crack. Which Crack manages to evade as well. The eye lasers like tracing like a hot line on like the amber walls that very quickly fade. It hisses in bestial acknowledgement of its failure. Or perhaps because it is its nature.
These things are dope.
Actually, no, they didn't. Another flame skull is.
Oh, that's what everyone's just
This one screams, but its mouth goes really wide, almost dislocating its jaw. It generates magics and then sends a beam of
Is it
flame.
casting a spell?
Yes.
Counterspell.
It attempts to do so, but it's
Menace!
Fire breath.
It's like,
I'm not gonna let fireball everyone. Come on now.
Might be fireball, might be fire breath.
He said a beam. Or a, sorry, he said a beam. I know what
yeah,
happens
I
when a
specifically
beam is created.
described it. It was fun.
You've seen fireballs, you know what's up.
Yeah. And Sasha's like, I know what this means.
It is then. It then becomes one of your allies' turns. Specifically.
I think he has fireball. That's
Specifically cast.
a lot of damage on everyone. I can't feel that much. But counterspell basically saved like 80 damage.
Casimir casts a spell. Utilizing powerful magics, he surrounds the skulls with blustering winds and ice. You can see like snow manifest.
Nice. Cast Ice Storm.
As he does so, you can see a lot of steam like rising off of the flame skulls as they almost cackle in defiance. Casimir frowns.
Resistant to ice.
No, they seem to be. They're not even
me,
slightly
really?
affected.
Immune to ice, resistant to lightning.
And they're clearly immune to fire. Jesus, these things are annoying as fuck.
Resist piercing.
It then becomes Sigurd's turn.
Huh.
And another ally's turn.
Isn't this one also supposed to give you difficult terrain?
Wait. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Ice Storm does half ice, half bludgeoning damage. So some of that damage should go through. I can double check it if you want, but I'm pretty sure it's split damage like
It's like hail.
no, well, the other split damage spell, Flame Strike. It's like Flame Strike.
Go ahead. You may be correct.
Oh, and I opened right to it. How weird is that? 2d8 bludgeoning and 4d6 cold. So
Okay, so
Something will get through.
they are hurt.
yeah, a little bit of damage will get through. I mean, they still get through
2d8.
safe to reduce the 2d8 in half, but hey, that's literally better than no damage at all.
Like, you can go ahead. I'm just
Hey, nice.
Indeed.
Is there space for me to
Casimir got the max damage you can get on that at least.
Is there?
Is there space for me to get like right here?
Give me this.
Over to 5.
You can pass through allies.
They
You
just
don't even
pass
have to
double.
do that, yeah. So it'd be
Yeah, I
20
believe so.
feet to get
Okay.
in front of
I was
crowds.
meaning looking at this here.
Because you pass diagonally throughout the buildings.
Alright,
There's some space.
I will do that, but get to about here. In the secret door, whatever. Strike out at this one first, and then this one.
These guys are cool. I'm gonna have to use these and stuff. They have a lot of resistances, they can spit fire everywhere.
23 to hit. And 14 damage on this one with 23 to hit.
For sure.
And that one is now surrounded. 21 to hit. 16 damage on the second for this one.
Okay. You strike out at one, you strike out at the other. They glower and hiss as they always have, though you boldly assault them nonetheless.
The only reason I want to do this was because this one, my knowledge has more health. If it does manage to do something,
Right.
It is enemies.
she doesn't want to get in there. She has a crossbow. Right? Maybe give her one?
You might have.
Where she
She can
started?
get in. 10,
Well, if she doesn't want to.
25 to move next to the Haichu. Wait, which space is the Haichu?
It's in this one.
It's in front of Esmeralda? Yeah, it can get in the space in front of Crack.
Just thinking I can see the spell.
Oh, okay. So she wants to get in there. She has a bludgeoning weapon.
Oh, the mace.
She has the mace attack. She can cast an offensive spell.
Actually, no, I kind of forgot about the mace. So she
Jumps onto the flaming skull and starts
she's in there.
dashing on it.
She's in there.
I've been waiting to fight something. I think it'd be really cool to climb on it.
And that's what did that at the fucking
But the
house.
climbing... That's something I wish Breath of the Wild did more. Have giant enemies you can climb on. Because the game has
Some.
climbing mechanics,
Yeah.
so it'd be cool if you had to, like... How cool would it be if you could fight at a Hinox fight? Really, the only enemy you have to climb on to fight is the Talus. And that's if their thing is on top of their head.
I love jumping onto those things and using the fucking sledgehammers.
Yeah, destroy them super hard. I found the counter gold. Fucking hard.
Also,
So fucking
They
hard.
somehow shot a
They can
bow.
shoot behind them,
Yeah.
basically. The gold bokoblin, I ran around to his back and he fired it right. Nope. And I was like, what the fuck?
Master.
Irina moves in and brings the Mace of Terror to bear, smashing into this particular flame skull,
Nice.
harming it again. Fractured, it still remains.
I'm so excited once you figured out Talus is kind of a joke. You just bomb both their arms off and then they don't attack. They fall to the ground, grow their arms. Bomb their arms again, and they have an attack.
They can still attack. They have like a ground pound sledge.
Well, yeah, they do that too normally, but their usual thing is going to be, I have no arms. I need my arms.
I like the magma.
Yeah, that was fun, but ice arrows. I feel like we kind of should just be able to craft elemental bombs or something. Like infusing your bombs with magic.
Esmeralda strikes out, slashing, piercing, hacking, bringing this flame skull close to death. Not quite. Confines. No fucking bandits turn. What will he do?
Kill the hive.
It's coming up next time. I want that Haichu.
Surprised you wouldn't want to go for the fireball.
I want that Haichu.
I hadn't made a card for some reason, even though I knew it was going to accompany you. So, while I peruse tactical options,
And we're so pretty.
he slashes out at the flame skull, connecting once, bringing it yet closer to death, but not quite. The creature's vitality and resistances evade him for now. Avail the creature for now. That's everybody. It's back around to you and you.
+1 bullet, fire gun. Use Sahar to mark. And then all my skeletons are gonna fire as well. Where is it?
Are you doing a bunch already damage? Or?
Yeah,
I thought your arms were good.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Does a 16 hit?
Yeah.
6 damage from me. And then I will roll. Or, no, 7 damage. I'm using a +1 bullet. Or
Yeah.
bullet.
That is enough to destroy it. The bullet rips through its bony facade.
And then I will have my skeletons fire arrows at the fireball in the back. And I will roll those.
More arrows sling forth.
Those all hit.
All those over 16.
So 4 damage, 5 damage, and 6 damage. But if I have each of those, 2 damage, 2 damage, and 3 damage. So 7.
The arrows fly. It is hurt significantly. It's also getting close to death, but not quite.
Two sword attacks.
Mark off that +1 bullet.
Is that 19?
Gun?
Huh? Yeah.
Alright.
Move up and one got 19.
Okay.
Another got 22. And that's so much of it.
So that's it.
16 and 15. And then that makes my punch attack. Oh, it misses. I got. Wait. Yeah, I got 13.
That is it.
7 damage. Wait. Yeah, 7 damage.
With this last blow, you were able to destroy it.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
I'm not
It's
even
also gum, so keep that in mind.
leaving the room free for you to explore. You can see at the very least that I need to move things. After that,
Let's get in there, look around, roll perceptions. I will give Sahar guidance, and he will search around the room. Not very effectively. He got a 9.
this room is quite small.
5.
Okay. What about you?
27.
Okay.
9, 5, 27.
This room has walls of glazed amber, much like the rest of the temple, and a floor of red marble. Everybody's looking on the down, but you're looking all around, and you notice that there's a shaft in the top of the room that goes up somewhere. Additionally, the shaft itself is 10 feet wide and appears to be maybe 20 feet long. And looking at it a little further, you actually notice that there are like a number of handholds like etched in there, so it'd be fairly easy to climb.
How high up is it? Like to reach it?
It's 10 feet up, if only because the ceiling is 10 feet up. So
We could reach it.
Take a bit of doing, but you can get it.
Alright.
Furthermore, this place contains 3 carved out small alcoves that contain amber sarcophagi.
Cool.
I will re-ritual cast Detect Magic. Are these sarcophagi the weird dark spots I was picking up before?
They are. And even before you are finished casting, you almost feel like some other presences are like hunched over and watching you with interest as you do so. It kind of like comes into metaphorical focus as you like finish your detect magic. Inside each of these rough blocks of amber fashioned into sarcophagi that are 5 feet wide, 5 feet thick, and 8 feet tall. Visible inside each one
Oh, they don't have a top?
is a wisp. They do, but amber, like it's
Amber
semi-see-through.
see-through, yeah.
Oh, duh.
Amber's translucent.
You can see like a faintly glowing black wisp. Casimir moves forward.
I believe you have found your spirits, Casimir.
He, while inspecting it, like touches like the front sarcophagi and then like closes his eyes and then opens them.
You communed? What have you learned?
It has communed with me. It hasn't offered me what I want.
But it has offered you something.
Yes.
What did it offer you?
It offered me it spoke of the dark gift of Sikane, the soul hungerer. Nothing I would be of an interest to.
Is there any lore I can roll to know what the hell Sikane, the soul hungerer is?
I'd take history. It's a little messy, but it.
Switch in.
20.
You don't know very much. You know that that name belongs to not like a being or mere entity, but a dark god. You've read little on the subject. It's more like it's been mentioned in like another culture, like you've maybe faintly read about.
This temple is attuned to dark gods. These spirits, dark specters. I'm sure one of them gave Strahd the knowledge of what he is. Probably the same one that created that lich.
Casimir is busy moving over and like to another sarcophagus as Esmeralda like nods. And says, I thought it would be difficult to find a place more evil than that devilish beast. But perhaps we have.
This is where his evil was birthed.
I'm assuming we cannot simply destroy the spirits of the sarcophagi. It would most likely just simply release them.
If it were even possible. I do. Casimir, whatever it is you wish to do,
He like looks up.
this. You are selling your soul to a dark god. What can be so important?
Well, we know why
Family.
he wants. His sister's dead and he wants to resurrect
I
her.
won't speak much more of it.
Because they.
No, it's something more than that. Because if it was, like Van Richten said, if it was just resurrection, he would say that.
Useless. He like moves over to like a third one. Like touches it.
No good can come of this. What has happened to your sister that requires magic of this magnitude? If it is a simple resurrection you require, we know someone capable.
He like puts aside like the other one. Turns. She's too long dead now. She's beyond the reach of anything but the strongest magics, the most powerful. I assure you, if I could turn anywhere else, I would. I can't fail her.
Because resurrection needs a body or like a piece of the body, right?
No, they also have time limits. And if she's been dead for longer than a year, then he needs a true resurrection spell.
Or a wish.
None of these are what I need. You can inspect them if you like, but I doubt they will be of interest to any of you as well. We should go.
Do you truly believe it is wise to risk having another Dark Lord rise through the evil magics of those claiming?
Another Dark Lord won't rise. These things, they do not work so simply.
You have studied them.
I have studied magic, and I will not be lectured by a mere warrior about what will or will not succeed in bringing my sister back from a wrongful death at the hand of the devil that you strive to slay. What price? What price could be so terrible?
Perhaps the price of the rest of your people to still survive.
The rest of his people are dead anyway. There are no Duskath women.
Yes.
That's why you want your sister back.
And he actually, pauses. Not in so many words.
He wants to save his race. His people.
I actually seem
cannot fault
confused that you bring that up. The look that he had was like that hadn't crossed his mind.
But it is something that would happen.
If it were simply that,
No, I
that doesn't
understand.
make sense.
I understand, Casimir. Out of character, Sasha wants to save his people too, so he totally gets it. It's not the same
No,
situation. There are still Vistani women around, but
It cannot be that. That would simply result into inbreeding at some point.
out of character, we don't necessarily know what inbreeding is.
Is it? Really?
It's a fantasy time.
Oh.
They don't.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily know about genetics.
Oh yeah, and lords and
Well,
stuff trying to keep royalty.
D&D is not the
within
same
royalty.
as normal
Right,
history.
but I'm saying you probably don't know exactly the effects inbreeding
I'd
have
leave it
on
up to
people.
you guys whether
Fair.
you wanted
Now
to
this-
know about it.
Because if this does have the same thing as loyalty or royalty,
I don't think you can breed
then they might try to keep family
cattle
within royalty.
Maybe? I don't know.
I'm not
Alright,
saying
then-
he's
then
gonna fuck his
disregard
sister.
that.
I'm saying someone else is gonna fuck his sister.
To Esmeralda, can you do what you did with this door? Again. She says, perhaps.
She could. She probably has more spell slots, but we could also check out that hole.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should not rely entirely
one floor.
on one. Perhaps there are other ways to open these doors. Crack. Do you think we could get up to the next floor?
I've already gone out there.
Yeah.
See, Crack has found another way. Let's just follow him.
He is willing to follow you, even if he's more
Did
interested in
I
direct
sense
approach.
any of the dark pinpricks upstairs?
I'm gonna say no, and if it turns out yeah, then you knew all along.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure not.
I'm gonna turn around perception for checking that area.
Okay.
Cheers.
You climb up and we'll check out what's up there next time. For now, I am Gabe Harper, obviously, GM of this campaign. What about you? Who are
I'm Mario Vilas. You can find more of me at Lights Camera Initiative on Twitter, where I speak for some of the people some of the time. Additionally, every other Monday, you can find me on the Tainted Lands. I think by this point still playing Luca. We'll find out. Additionally, by the time this comes out, Fuck Cancer Roll Dice will have already happened, so check out the VODs on that. And yeah, that's all I got going on until I get word back about some other stuff. So, you know.
Neat.
That was me.
As always, I'm still on Twitter. I'm still on Instagram. I'm still plugging away at Treasure Takers, and I still got the Lonely Zombie every now and again. Is there anything that you two would like to share before we depart?
Still here, still as a player, still no real social media to speak of yet.
Casimir's gonna sell his soul to save his sister.
Maybe more. We don't know the price they're gonna ask for.
And maybe more. But until next time, we'll see you.
Bye!